Okay, now this is a very impromptu video. But in this video, what we're going to do, now, I don't know if I have the chat on or the chat off. I don't really care. So in this video, we're going to discuss my top 100 subscribers and what benefits these subscribers receive from me. Well, what they did receive from me. Now, my top 16 subscribers, now that's a whole nother story. The case in point here is that right now I'm just stalling for a few minutes because I want to have my lunch. But no, I'm only kidding. So let's talk about having a great subscriber base and the difference between a great subscriber base and a not so great subscriber base is immense. So let's talk about my 16,666 subscribers that I had as of yesterday morning, when of course my GoPro was destroyed when I went swimming in only 1 meter of water. So let's talk about the first top, what I would consider my top subscribers, and how and what benefits they receive from me. First of all, those 16 people are in a different category because they donate money to the Patreon account that Daisy and I have. And if you notice, Daisy is not with me now. Where did she go? I don't even know. If you asked me where Daisy was right now, I couldn't tell you. But digressing back, Daisy and I started a Patreon account, and we have 16 subscribers. That's the most that we've ever had. And what do those people ask me for is basically nothing. There was one gentleman that was maybe my first subscriber on Patreon, and he signed up at the $50 mark. I sent him a letter. What could I do for you? He said, I don't want anything. I just like the way you make videos. Period. That's it. Sent him. And then I sent out subsequently several messages. Each time I get a few subscribers, I send out a general message on my Patreon account asking people what they want me to do for them. And except for 3 people, maybe 4, asked me a question they received back in return. The names of hotels to go to, the names of the hotels that I know of where they can get a really steep discount if I talk to the owner of the hotel. Maps of the general area where the hotels were, and the link to the map of where the hotel was. Because some people will just give you just look up Holiday Tropics. It's great. It's a great hotel. Yeah, it's in the middle of Tagbilaran. You want to be in the middle of a city? It's a great place to be. But if you want to be on a beach, it's not a great place to be. I give them the names. I ask them what type of hotel they would like to have, what they're interested in doing, and my subscriber base on Patreon is pretty much only interested in having a nice, enjoyable vacation. They're not coming here to meet girls. See, already, I'm reading the comments. Scott, my friend, I would imagine that you and I would be friends for a great long time, however long this thing we call life lasts. Thank you. I wish I knew how to. Hold on a second. I got to get rid of. I'm gonna see. I'm on the computer. See, this is. Let me finish this topic, and then I'm going to find out how to get rid of some of the trolls. I already have trolls. The people that asked me questions on my Patreon account I can tell you how to save money on airplane tickets. And there's a gentleman in the chat room named Scott, who I am greatly appreciative of him. He's a Patreon member. He will tell you that what I am telling you is an honest conversation, not what we call in the Philippines, how the Filipinos call liar. They call that bakakun, and they will tell you, and they will tell you to your face if they think that you are lying to them. And once you are designated bakakun ka, which means you are a liar in the Philippines, ain't nobody ever going to have anything to do with you. So let's talk about the benefits of becoming a Patreon member. First of all, anything you wish to know about the Philippines, even if I don't know, I research for you. Second of all, there are 384 now videos on Patreon, ranging from $1 to $10. And that was because in the beginning, I thought that the longer videos were worth more money. And I still do. If I'm going to put up an hour video, I'm going to put it at the $10 range. Or I could tell you that almost every video on Patreon is age restricted because of the video content, and nothing to do with pornography or naked pictures or anything like that. But you are only allowed to say certain things to the President of the United States, and some people, including the visit I received from the DEA and another agent when I lived in America, they thought I crossed the line. But by the end of the conversation, they understood that what I explained to them was my perception of the type of so-called man Mr. Obama was. By the time I was done explaining to them why I asked Mr. Obama for what I asked him for, and then made a video asking him for that thing, and then sent it to whitehouse.org, I had these guys laughing in stitches. A DEA agent for sure, and probably the other man said, "Do you know they watch your videos at the White House?" And I said, "It's good. It gives me more views." This was in the beginning of the conversation. So I can't put that stuff on YouTube anymore, but there's many of those videos like that. So, okay, let's see. Chicken, see that this guy, same, he's a troll from the other day. And if I could figure out how to block them, I guess I could do that. Well, hold on one minute, please. This live stream, no, it doesn't tell me how to do that. So you guys are just going to have to deal with that. Later, I'll block him and his comments will be removed. Why would somebody come? Scott Del Fuego, who's in the comments, he was the one who made me aware of something I was aware of, but I wasn't aware of it in the same way I'm aware of it now. Why would someone go to another person's channel that hates the person that they're going to the channel to watch the video just to spend the whole day leaving 50 or 60 comments? So let's go to see my one commenter. Now I'm going to tell you, this gentleman has been giving me advice. Peekaboo to you. And he says, I hope my post from medical friends help. Well, I haven't got to that because, as hard as it might seem or understand to believe. Okay, Danny. Okay, hold on, Danny. I'm gonna ask you more about that in a minute. As hard as it might seem for you to believe, we had more than 30 blackouts, and that's why this live stream started so late. We had 16 or 17 blackouts on Saturday. We had several on Sunday. We had 3 this morning. Living in the Philippines is not easy. So digressing back to the benefits, there are all kinds of benefits to becoming a Patreon member. And then we're going to go, Danny's telling me how to block people. We're going to go back to that. I can save you money on airfare. I can even save you money on when you're searching for airfare, how you can save an additional certain percentage every day you search for the airfare. I can tell you which is the best airlines. I can tell you which are the most inexpensive hotels. I can tell you don't book online. Don't book online. There's so many options once you get here. I'll find you a hotel. And that's the benefits of becoming a patron. Not only will I find you a hotel, I'll find you a hotel that lists for 1,500 or 2,000 pesos a day, and I'll get you a 500 peso discount or a 1,000 peso discount, depending on the hotel's availability, which is 20 bucks a day discount, which is $140 a week. So if you stay for 2 weeks, you save $380 just because I go to the hotel for you and get the discount. So now, peekaboo. Yeah, I got your messages. I didn't read probably your newest message about health. I know what the problem is with my foot because the okay, okay, all right. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. This is getting a little bit out of hand. Okay, what we need to do is okay. See, the attention. I would give you attention in real life. You ever see someone's pupils dilate? Okay, okay. Wait a second. You move your mouse to the right to the box. You'll see a line. Click the line. Report the user for bullying, and he will be removed. Okay. All right. I don't see that. I don't see that option. Okay. I don't see that option. Okay. Oh, yeah, here it is next to the name. I was looking at there he goes. There he goes. Harassment or bullying. Goodbye. Adios. Bye bye. Okay, thank you, Peekaboo. So I did now going back to Peekaboo. There were so many blackouts this morning. Every time I turned on the computer, I'll go look at it later. But thank you very much. Okay, so the one and only Bob. I did get your messages too, Bob. You're retired military. You work in a hospital. You gave me good information. Thank you. But I'm going, let me explain to you so we can get past my foot issue. Okay. I do a lot of reading. Unlike some people who don't read anymore, I can tell you I spend 4 hours a day reading, maybe 5. I read everything. I read stuff I'm not even interested in. I read stuff that no one would be interested in. I don't read about the newest bathing suit or models or anything like that. I don't read about uh, this transgender thing with the bathroom. None of that stuff's important to me. I read stuff like the report from Iron Mountain, which is a report that says statistically how world peace can be accommodated and brought into existence. And what the report actually is the exact opposite. It's 1984 double-speak speech. That takes 3 hours, but I've read it like 4 times. Not to this week, but okay. So we have to. You still see this guy? No, he's still here. I did that. I reported him. Okay, report. Okay, I did that. See, even YouTube is. It's not. Okay, I don't want to find sexual hate speech, graphic violence. Okay, they received it. He's gone. Thanks. I don't know. I did it the first time too. So he should be gone. So I read things like the report from Iron Mountain. And then there's a guy named Bill Cooper who, the Hour of Power. You could watch this guy for an hour. Well, you can't watch him. It's mostly verbal communication. He will work for the military. He rattles off documents that you can look up online, and I go read them. Because basically the world is in a state of chaos, and most people don't understand it because they don't understand the premise behind the chaos itself. John Parrish, I'm doing okay, thank you. No, I don't do. No, I don't do that. All right, so I gave the troll a couple of reports, and he's still here. So if someone wants to tell me how to remove the troll, thank you. So I read, Bill Cooper will say about, first of all, Bill Cooper's been right about every one of his predictions regarding the New World Order from his channel. So that means I have to stop and go to his channel. Okay. There might be 100 of him. He'll pop up on a new screen in a few minutes. So Bill Cooper gives you the ability to learn about what's going on in today's world. And what's going on in today's world is a lot more complicated than anybody understands, because you have people like what I call trolls that would never do this in real life, YouTube keyboard warriors. You have this kind of person that just comes on to, yeah, there's so many of them. Okay, I look. All right, so let's see what we could do here. Ah, okay, here we go. Hide user. Adios, chicken guy. And that's exactly what you are. You would never do this to anybody in person. Never. Bye-bye. Okay, so you have to click next to his name and then say hide user, but it didn't give me that option at first. It gave me other options. It was behind the computer screen. Okay, that's what the problem was. Thank you. All right, so I read 3 to 5 hours a day, every day, day in and day out, and even more now. So my understanding of the world is completely different than your understanding of the world. And you think that I don't know what's going on? I am the person that proved beyond doubt that the Vatican, the Skull and Bones Society, the square mile of England, which represents the Skull and Bones represents the square mile of the Bank of London, and the Bohemian Grove Valor, which represents the United States military. I proved that those three things, those three sovereign states, the Vatican, the square mile of England, the bank, it's called the square mile of in England of London, London square mile, and that the United States, Columbia, the District of Columbia, that those three are all part of the same cabal that rules the world. I proved it in my videos. There's no cannot be denied. But you think you come to me and you tell me that I don't know how to do certain things. Well, of course, there's things I don't know how to do, but I know how to do more than most. I can run a machine. I could go through my superior skills. I could go, and it would take about an hour, and I could go through my not so superior skills. It would take 2 or 3 days. Have any of you ever owned a live wire, live boom crane? The answer to that question might be one of my 16,000 subscribers owns a live wire, live boom crane. And once they saw one of my videos, they said, "No, that guy he's okay." Okay. Have you owned a track hoe, a backhoe, a bobcat? Have you owned a barge? Have you owned a barge and crane service? None of you could say that stuff. So I did get him, Danny. Thank you. Okay. So, okay. Click by the name. Okay. So let me just look at the comments, because I'm answering comments here, because I cut off the comments on my subscriber page because of the chicken. Getting back to the value of your channel, it is not a bad idea to meet and pay someone for help before going to the Philippines. Danny Gordon said that. Yeah, you're right. And I can help you with that. And not only that, in 1/2 an hour, I can explain Oh, here we go. Your mom. Okay, so we're gonna devalue all of his. We just devalued another one of the chicken guy's channels. Landhawk. Hello, hello, Bill. Bill, I got your messages. Thank you for the information. Thank you for offering to help. Okay, so we're going to digress. I'm going to go over what the problem with my foot is and how I understand what the problem is. There were two problems with my feet. Okay, your mom. Okay, I got him. I got him. Thank you, Max. Max Malone. That's a cool name. I looked at your channel the other day. Okay, so there was, I have two problems with my feet. Edema. That is caused by, since I started living in the Philippines, my feet would swell up as much as 2 inches on my ankle. So originally I went to the doctor when I first got the Bahol in 2014. The lady said simply, Danny Gordon has owned heavy equipment, drilling rigs. Danny, I used to operate a couple of small rigs, Cat 3500s. A couple of small drilling rigs on my barge, which you could look up on Barge Dragon. But you're a good man, Danny. You know how dangerous a piece of what they call rope steel is when it's spinning around and you're breaking it down, and each piece of steel, even a 10-foot piece of T50, which Danny would know, I know what I'm talking about, is 10 feet long and weighs 60 or 70 pounds, falls on your foot's gone. So, yeah, Danny, you're a hardworking man. Thank you. Digressing back. So when I went to the doctor, they told me that hold on with the comments for a minute, please. I'm having a conversation. I don't interrupt you. And I'm serious. Just stop with the comments for like 10 minutes. Let me finish this, what's wrong with my foot, because everybody seems to be so interested in my foot. Just stop with the comments for 5 minutes. It's 11:48. Go back to it at 11:55. Okay, so the edema was caused by, she said salt, but I broke it down to any flavoring that's put in foods in the Philippines and maybe America is causing my feet to swell. If I eat fried chicken, my feet swell 2 inches. My ankles will swell up. Say I have 5 pieces of fried chicken, 5 small, like chicken wings and legs or small breast. My feet, each ankle will swell up 2 inches. If I eat roasted chicken from another part of the island altogether, the same thing happens. So there is some sort of flavoring that they're putting in the chicken or growth hormone that they're putting in the chicken that causes the edema. Also, there is something called real fruit flavor. I mean, real natural artificial flavors. Real natural artificial flavors. Now, it could be something as benign as the ingredient of tomato sauce makes my feet swell up 2 inches also. I haven't had as much as a spoonful of tomato sauce once I discovered that several months ago. So it's the artificial flavors, it's the salt, and I haven't touched soy sauce in 5 months. But I did try something new this week, which was this evaporated milk, cowbell evaporated milk. And that made my feet swell up. I don't eat much starch. So we're going to digress to back. That's the problem with the edema. I have that under control. My ankles are back to normal. Okay, I will put my foot up so that you can believe me and there's no more questions as to whether or not my foot or feet are back to the normal size. Here's the right foot. Okay, well, in order, I would have to go up. I'll show you. I'll go up onto the bed and I'll show you my feet. We'll clear up the edema problem. That's gone. Okay, so this way, no bakako. No nonsense, Michael Fazio. Here we go. Swelling is gone. Okay? Back to normal. 100%. There's just one little bit of swelling. And here is the injury. All the swelling, 95% of the swelling is gone. The injury is closing up. I've just had my foot soaking. I go swimming every day for an hour in the ocean. It might look terrible to you, but it's 500% better than it was 5 days ago. Each day, it's progressively getting better. Now, what that was a serious, and I mean serious, staph infection. Now, how do you know that you have a staph infection? Well, how do I know it was? Well, I didn't know it was until 2 weeks after I started researching what it could be and some suggestions about what it was. First and primary, to understand what a staph infection is and how you get it, you have to read about that. But the first symptom of a staph infection can be, not necessarily, and I'm not a doctor, but it can be severe fever and chills. Well, the day Daisy left, where is Daisy, by the way? The day Daisy left, that night, we had spent the day on the beach, and I went to sleep, and I was like freezing to death, and then I was sweating. I had a fever, a big one, a major fever. I took an aspirin, went to sleep. I woke up in the morning, I was fine. I said, well, maybe it's like one of those 24-hour bugs. That's the first symptom, possible symptom of a staph infection. 4 days later, my foot started to go out of control, swelling. So what happened, what I did was I did more research and the boils on my feet. Now, then I knew I had a staph infection. And then it gave you different options. You could go get antibiotics, which I didn't want to do. I'm building up my immune system. I have a relatively good threshold for pain. I figured I'd deal with it rather than take antibiotics. Maybe one day I'm really going to need antibiotics. And if you take that stuff too many times, it's just not good for your body. Another thing people don't understand. And what do the Filipinos do when they get an infection? Very few of them have enough money to go to the doctor. I do. So now I'm going to go back. That was what it is. It takes 35 days. And do you remember Daisy's staph infection that we didn't know was a staph infection because no one said it was a staph infection and we didn't look up staph infection? Remember Daisy's staph infection? Well, she gave it to me because they're highly contagious. So somehow, I don't know how, our feet touched each other and I got the staph infection from Daisy. So it's kind of like Daisy gave me a staph infection. And where is Daisy? Where is Daisy? Have you seen Daisy lately? So now we could go back. Let me go. Yeah. Okay, I've heard all of these things about congestive heart failure cause edema. I have no problems with my heart. I can swim. Today, I can go out into the ocean and swim a mile in 35 minutes without breaking a sweat. Well, wouldn't sweat in the ocean. But anyway, I can do that. Now I don't know what happened to the chat. So Thomas Keller, I don't have congestive heart failure. It can cause it, though. You are right. Okay. Okay, Fred Flintstone. There he goes. How many channels does this guy have? Let's see. Is he doing this on a regular basis? Okay, one and all. Okay, so let me go up. Let me see if I can catch some comments that I missed. All right. Okay. Well, we were up to Planet Nine. Where is Manny? That's a good question. Manny Skywatch has always been my friend. He has never given me my email. His email. I gave mine to him. We've never talked on the phone. But I do know that Manny was building a very serious fishing boat. A Nova Scotia fishing something, not a trawler. I think it was 23 feet long, and he was building it out of wood by scratch by himself. So hopefully Manny Skywatch is building his boat, and he's not letting YouTube or the internet interfere with his life. That would be my best bet. Okay, Bob, I answered your question. Do yourself a favor and research yeah, I've Unchained Beast. I've read that diet. Yeah, I'm okay. My diet is now right now today. My diet. I will show you what my diet is. I'll show you what I eat. First of all, I eat fresh fruit every day, and I don't eat any. This is fresh pineapple. I don't eat any sugar. Half of a teaspoon of sugar in 1 teaspoon of coffee. Half a teaspoon in 1 teaspoon of instant coffee. And then the rest, I'll show you what's in my refrigerator. And the only thing that's in my refrigerator. I'll show it to you. People want to know what I eat, and people think I eat garbage. Okay, I'll show you what I eat. This is the only 3 products of food besides one piece of bread the size of an English muffin that I have eaten in the last 5 days. Okay, this is fresh pineapple. Fresh pineapple, very fresh. I eat about 4 pieces 3 times a day. This is fresh cucumbers with fresh, like a bell pepper. I eat 1 container of this every, by 5 o'clock, this will be gone. I have to open up another one. Then tomorrow will be another one for lunch. 1 cucumber and bell peppers in apple cider vinegar. And I eat cabbage. I eat 1 entire head of cabbage every day. 1 entire head of cabbage. I chop up garlic finely minced with apple cider vinegar. And I make homemade mayonnaise out of fresh eggs and palm oil. So those are the 3 products. Pretty much Daisy and I have not had a piece of meat except for some chicken on Saturday to do my testing. So that's what I eat. And okay, so that's my food that I eat. And so I'm not having problems because of what I eat. And 95% of my diet for the last 4 years has been vegetables. And I don't eat chocolate or sugary candies. 1 piece of candy every week, maybe every 2 weeks. Okay, what my cellular is what my medical friends seem to be concerned. Okay, I'll look that up, Peekaboo. I did have big muscles. I used to work very hard, mostly with a sledgehammer. Okay, we got that guy disappeared. I have Danny Gordon. I have owned a crane and pump. Okay, well, Danny, if you owned a drill rig, you've owned cat compressors, you've owned expansion tanks for the drill rig because everything's done with pneumatics, or we used to do it with pneumatics. You've owned lots of heavy equipment. You've owned generators. You don't have to tell me what you've owned. I operated heavy equipment. I owned cranes and barges and tugboats for 11 years of my life, and we had I think it was called the 350 cat drill. We did blasting in Mamaroneck, New York. I'm the barge that did all the blasting there. Took the crane off the barge and put a couple of drills on there. I understand you're a hardworking man, Danny, and everybody else here should understand that too. Danny Gordon is not a slouch. If he owned drill rigs, he owned compressors, he owned welders, he owned oxygen and acetylene torches, he owned generators, he owned cables for the welding, he owned long torch hoses, he owned an immense amount of tools. You people don't understand what heavy equipment is. You don't just buy a piece of heavy equipment and you not have the tools to repair the equipment. Not only you and if you think that you're going to hire somebody, what? When you're going to wait a week for the guy to come, and then what happens? I hired a guy to come twice in my life. Once to put a motor in my truck because I didn't have a lift and it was winter, and once to help me weld. Guy wanted $300 a day to do welding. My father, who's a tugboat captain, recommended this guy, and he came to the job at 7 o'clock. He was supposed to be there. He was late. Got there 7:15. I'm ready to send them home already. You're late with me. So I said, look, dude, if you can't get to work on time, come back tomorrow. He got really upset. He goes, your father made me come here to help you. I said, look, don't come off with that kind of an attitude with me. I don't really need you. I don't know how to weld. I'm not a good welder, but nothing that I weld ever breaks. No, few things maybe. But when I was welding new sections from my crane boom, so I needed another welder to get my crane up and running because I had a big job coming up. The guy was smoking cigarettes every 15 minutes, 10 minutes for a cigarette, 15 minutes, 5 minutes of welding, and he'd chip it away with a chipping hammer. That kind of labor, if you own heavy equipment, you go broke paying somebody $300 a day, $1,500 cash, 300. So really 600 a day, 3,000 a week for a welder. Who's worth that? A guy that works 8 hours a day nonstop with an automatic machine is worth that. But a guy that smokes a cigarette every 15 minutes ain't worth nothing. So Danny owns all this equipment plus. So that's what it's like to own a heavy equipment company or heavy equipment. You have to have pressure washers. You have to have blowers. You have to have sandblasters. You have to have trailers. You have to have tire repair kits. You people that come onto my channel and think that this is some kind of joke that I used to own a heavy equipment company. You come here and you could abuse me. I'm telling you, in real life, you wouldn't do it. I am absolutely certain in real life, you wouldn't abuse me. It doesn't matter what you think. It's what I know. So, and I get people telling me that kind of crap all the time. It's not like I'm hard to find. In America, I used to give them a Google map. Here I am. They don't have that here. So I don't do it. Okay. Okay, so George, hello, Bill. Okay. Yeah, Bill Landhawk, he has a great channel. And I like the fact that you were doing live streams, Bill, but to be honest, you have a 12-hour day every day. Now, I'm surprised you even stopped by my channel if you're still listening. Okay? Okay, cellulitis is what my medical friends seem to be in concern. We already dealt with that issue. Okay, my injuries are healing and my edema is gone. Hands of Seeds, you had big muscles. Yeah, well, I operated a sledgehammer for 6 or 7 hours out of my 8-hour day for my uncle breaking concrete with a straight bar. Me and a guy named Danny. That's all we did for 2 years. Okay. Okay, here we go. Michelle. Bye-bye, Michelle. Oh, man, you guys. What? Don't you have anything else to do? Don't you have anything else to do? Wow. Yeah, it looks bad, lefty all around. It was bad. It's getting much better. I have some videos I'll put up about this. Okay, so now I'm up to, I don't know what time. What's up, Bill? Okay, we're up to Landhawk coming in. How's my heart? Could be now I have no heart problems. I swim, on average, I swim a half a mile a day. It might not look like it, but I float. So it's easy. All right. All right, so we're almost down to the last comments. I don't know what this is in reference to. I have Super Chat. Somebody asked about Super Chat. I have Super Chat. I'm pretty sure. I don't know how it. I turned it on. If someone wants to Super Chat something for me, knock yourself out. It doesn't matter. If you really want to help me, become a Patreon member. Okay, Jimmy Dory, I want to give. Okay. Well, Jimmy, you can go to my homepage and become a Patreon member or make a one-time donation. I'm not going to turn it down, but you have to make an agreement with me right now. You got to want something. Information about the Philippines, some private videos that I have posted on. Please, don't just give me money. I would prefer that you become a Patreon member and enjoy the videos that other people will never get to see. that were at one time visible, and you can ask completely disinterested. He knows all about my crazy videos. Here's a man completely Here's a man completely Jimmy. I attract what? I attract trolls. I attract trolls because I'm a man, and trolls are not men. Trolls are trolls. They'll never be men. They never were men. They weren't. They might have been born with male genitalia, but basically, what a troll is a woman in a man's body. That's what a troll is. Because with all the comments and all the nonsense that the trolls put up, they never say that kind of stuff to someone's face. And proof of that is that they're still doing it. I don't even want to get involved with people that I grew up with in Howard Beach, Queens, New York. You could look at them cross-eyed and they would be upset, and you would not ever look at somebody cross-eyed again. Okay, so completely disinterested will tell you all about Trucker B. Wow, that's man, you are you are my first super chat. Hold on, I'm going to get to you in a minute. I'll answer your question. Thank you, Trucker B, but I'll be back to you in a minute. Completely disinterested has been watching my videos since 2010. He could recite more about my videos than anyone else. He's also a Patreon member, and we've talked on the phone. So if you want to ask somebody a question in the general comments, ask completely disinterested if I give people their money's worth on Patreon. Daisy, where are you? Says Peekaboo. Daisy, 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 where are you, Daisy? Soon you will find out exactly what happened to Daisy. So, hello, geography. Hello from Alberta, Canada. Yeah, I know Canada. That's where they keep the snow. Clayton, hello. Okay, yeah. I have Superchat. Okay, so now, William Carlin. Of course, I live in a province. Why would I lived in the Florida Keys, Key Largo. Didn't see one car a day in 1999 when I bought my house. Didn't see a car a day. And in 2013, when I finally gave the house back to the mortgage company because it went belly up, the mortgage, I couldn't pay the mortgage, so I gave it back to the mortgage company. I had no problem with that either. I was happy. It was like a burden that was relieved from my soul. It gave me time to move to the Philippines. I live in a much more beautiful place now, much more peaceful. I don't see a car every 3 or 4 days go past the front of my house. But yeah, I live in the province. Now, Trucker B, when is opening day at the hotel? Now, I've had people, I'm going to go into a detailed explanation about this. In October 18th of 2016, I signed the contract. I did not get the permit till May 15th of 2017, at which point I moved out of my apartment and Daisy and got a cargo container to put tools in and to build our own house. We lived in the apartment until actually June, but we started in May to build the house once we get the permit. It's a small house. It's 11 foot 6 inches by 11 foot 6 inches. It has a toilet next to the kitchen sink with no walls. We shower outside on a piece of plywood, and we don't even shower because the height of our heads is higher than the water table in the water from the water company. So we have to put it in buckets and then bucket it onto our heads. So we take bucket baths. And that's the way it is. Daisy's perfectly okay with that, but I don't know where Daisy is. So you can't ask her, at least not here. So, because I don't know where Daisy is. So now in 2017, in the beginning of September, if you remember, I fell off a ladder, a, a defective ladder, and I was out of work Could have been October, but I was out of work for 3 weeks. I was basically, just to get back and forth to the bathroom was a real complication. For the first couple of days, it was painstakingly complicated, but I did it anyway because that bedpan thing, I don't know. I'm going to wait on that. I did it when I had a knee operation for a couple of days. I'm not good with the bedpan thing. So Daisy would help me. Daisy's not here to help me. I don't even know where Daisy is. So we didn't start working on the house. And then in September, we had a major earthquake. We didn't have electric or water. No water. None. Zero. Nada. Voila. Or electric. None. Zero. Voila. Yamu. No electric at all did we have for 3.5 weeks. And then it was sporadic. So there was no work. And then in October, I ordered the machine from a company who I became friends with a man. Actually, I met the guy on a beach. So I ordered the equipment. He has a lot of equipment. And I made a deal with them. The equipment was a piece of garbage. Basically, it was running, and that's all. I made a deal with the guy to fix up the equipment. So before I even started the equipment, the oil change hadn't been changed. I don't know. It was water in there, black water. The hydraulic fluid filters were black. There was no water going through. Everything was going through a bypass valve. So we didn't actually start digging until the end of November, when I realized that the bucket really wasn't that good for digging. So I dug out the dirt parts, but I have to dig out the coral parts. Really, because that's part of the hole. So I marked off the holes, and then this coral is the hardest coral in the world. So then in January, I started modifying the bucket a small amount. So we didn't actually start doing any digging until January. And now it's June, July, and I haven't done any work here in July because I had this injury on my foot, and I won't go in and out of the machine. God forbid I drop something on my foot, it'll knock that scab off. It'll hurt a lot, more than what I care for it to work. So I'm doing other stuff. So the answer to your question, that was the long version, is that if all goes well, 18 months from the time I get back to work and find a helper, then in 18 months, I should have the ground floor, at least 3 of the 4 rooms on the ground floor complete. And I'll be living in one of the rooms, and I'll put the container up on the beam boxes. So it'll be 18 months before the ground floor is done. And then after that, it'll go fast. And the reason is because I dug out all the tanks. Now, I'm not reading the comments. I'm answering Trucker B's request because he gave me a super chat. My first. Never had that happen before. Thank you. So first I dug out the tanks because otherwise, if I built the tanks, I'd be running heavy equipment over these things, cranes to pick up the container that weigh 30 tons, that pick up the container with another container weighs another 9 or 10 tons or 12 tons. I mean, I'm not going to run a rubber tire crane. What if the guy takes one of his outriggers and drops it down on top of an 8-inch cap on one of my tanks? It'll go right through it like it was paper thin. I know how to do this kind of work. So I dug out the tanks first, the water tank, the septic tank, and some of the lines for the overflows. Okay, for the drain field pipes. It's what I did. I had a license in Florida. It's what I did. I know how to dig. So we didn't do any construction. Next thing, my next part of the project is I bought the steel 2 days ago to build a rebar bender that I'm going to build out of the doors from the container. And if the rebar is too thick or too hard for me to bend with the container, I'll just put a strap on the door, set the bar up into the bending apparatus, and pull it with the backhoe, or the track hoe, and it'll bend. So that's going to be my rebar bender. So the thing after that is to start setting walls up around the perimeter because I'm raising the property up 32 inches or 36 inches. And that is so that anybody from the ground floor deck will be able to see the ocean. Because if I am sitting here where I am sitting and the hotel is at this height of my floor, you can see the ocean over the things that the wall that blocks the ocean is a barrier. Okay, so 18 months once we go back to work, I go back to work. So thank you, Trucker. Okay, Trucker, I hope that answers your question, and thank you very much. So now, okay, I'm going to go down. Where is the DOD? Okay, you want to see the DOD? I always keep the DOD handy. There's a reason for that. Sometimes I actually have people come and visit me to show their friends the DOD. There's the DOD. I actually have this guy that comes around. Yeah, only twice, but he comes around. He goes, show this guy the DOD. Saw it on YouTube. He wants to see what the DOD looks like in real life. But here it is. Thanks for asking. You got to appreciate a man that has a sense of humor. You just have to. It's just part of my persona. Okay. Scott said, if you have a half of a sense of humor, the Patreon videos are well worthwhile. It leaves him in stitches. Yeah, there's a reason why Scott and I share commonalities in our personalities, but I won't get into that. But leave it at that. We both grew up in big cities. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Lefty. Okay, so thank you, Lefty. Latchenberg, tell it like it is, Michael Fazio. I always do that. You know that. I'm wondering if you're my friend. Well, I know you're my friend. You always leave nice comments. Completely disinterested. Now, here's a man that believes that Michelle is a woman in a man's body. And now you want to talk about a beautiful woman. You don't talk about Michelle and a beautiful woman in the same sentence because that's an oxymoron. Those two things just don't go together. Thank you, Ann. Thank you, completely disinterested. Yeah, I weed whacked my hair. Actually, my hair is like this because I went swimming in the ocean that's 145 feet from my house this morning and then just rinsed it off because I'm going swimming again at 2 o'clock I go swimming at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning and at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So one more comment like that and we'll put you in to the penalty box. Why do I have to brush my hair for you? Are you gay? Is that what bothers you, that I'm not pretty? Are you gay? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you're trolling for queers. People that leave comments like that have very little else to say. Why don't you go watch some of my videos and come up with some sort of an intelligent comment instead of coming here and trolling me what my hair looks like? So now you have your 35 seconds of fame, and I asked you if you were gay, and you didn't answer me. Well, maybe you are, and maybe you're not. But what do you come here and what are you worried about my hair for? Go worry. I live in a place where no one ever says anything about my hair. I've been here for 4 years. Not one Filipino has ever said anything about my hair. These people don't care what we look like. I don't care what they look like. They don't care what I look like. Only somebody. I'm beginning to think you're gay. Could be wrong. Prove me wrong. There's some of these questions that people was asking me. Can you put a phone in a bowl of rice after it gets wet? Come on, that's ridiculous stuff. Come on, don't make me look at you that you're not capable of asking an intelligent comment. You sent me so much information. It's like it's an immense amount of information, and you expect me to believe every different aspect of it. I researched it. But putting a phone that got salt water in it, or a camera with salt water in a bowl of rice. Use your common sense, dude. Use your common sense. Does somehow salt water get extracted with rice? There's over 1,000 electronic circuits in there. The phone is toast. The electric was on. If you have a battery in an electronic unit, when it gets put in, submersed in salt water, something called electrolysis occurs. It's destroyed the phone. Come on, man. You're going to ask me questions. Ask me intelligent questions. No, I didn't dye my hair. 5 months ago when Roger came, Daisy dyed my hair. But that was 5 months ago. I doubt if any of the dye is still in here. It was before Christmas. Could have been after Christmas. I don't know. Okay. Hank Scorpio leaves some good comments, but he's not able to comment. I don't know why. Okay. All right. Okay. Tools, Scott said, tools that spend so much time to watch a video of someone they don't like, trolls comments, and then thumbs down have serious mental problems and an inordinate amount for need for attention. Now, you know what? I'm not a psychologist, but that's the truth. That I understand to be true. I've been on YouTube for 8 years, and Scott's perspective happens to come from someone that would understand the mentality of a troll. So thank you for that, Scott. That DOD is too doggone scary. Thank you. Okay, so Jimmy Peekaboo. Peekaboo apologized for asking me a question about salt water. This is, okay, I accept your apology, but this is a common sense thing. If you have a serious question about the Philippines, if you have a serious question about something that involves nuts and bolts that I could help you with on a piece of heavy equipment, I will address your question, but I don't really have time. This is apology accepted. The one and only Bob. Now that's funny. This guy leaves me a lot of comments, the one and only Bob. And one thing that he said is true, at least I still have hair. I'm 62. Yeah, and I even have some up on the top. I even have some left up on the top. Okay. Yeah, Scott, with another really interesting. Jimmy. I don't even, I've read a lot and I don't even know what the land of Ophir is. Maybe I'll look that up later, but thanks for an intelligent question. But I could not say I remember reading about that. I may have, but I don't know. And as far as it being in the Philippines Islands, there's a lot of islands here. It may very well be here. I couldn't tell you, but thanks for the question, Jimmy. Scott said another form of comment that needs another one that needs to make comments face to face. Okay. Another another one that needs to make comments face to face. Then he could see the reaction and physical changes up close. Breathing changes, facial muscle tension, and more specifically, dilated pupils. You always really need to pay attention to someone's pupils in an up close and personal confrontation. That will tell you more about the person But the problem with watching someone's pupils up close and personal is that you're usually inside his space or vice versa. That might not be where you'd want to be. So, and as far as there are there are symptoms when you're in an up close and personal confrontation. You could Google that online, but the pupils. If you see the guy's pupils dilating, I'd go back 5 feet. That's where I would be, and I would turn a little bit sideways, just a slight bit sideways, and I'd watch his chest. That doesn't make sense to you? Then you don't belong having confrontations with anybody. Now, geography has used vegetable oil in an excavator. You can do that. You're right about the environmental hazard. You can do that. That's a good idea. Some people do it. I wouldn't. Too expensive, and I had too many blowouts. When I used to do tree deforestation, I used to run over a tree and a branch would snap and it would go through this hose, or I'd run across a piece of rebar in the Florida Key that would fly up underneath the machine and punch. Nah, that's too much. Too expensive. Danny Gordon, a master plumber license, the old blowtorch. Yeah, I doubt if I'll be using the blowtorch. They don't even have they don't have cast iron here. They don't have lead. I have cast iron. I had a cast iron pot when we had the flood, Sandy Hook flood. It got thrown out into the scrap. My brother scrapped collectibles, antiques that were still viable working apparatus. He just threw it out into the middle of the street. That's how my brother is. I probably would have never used it again anyway. Who wet leads pipes? Well, okay, so they don't even have metal pipes here for plumbing. Copper. The copper gauge is so thin you could take a ballpoint pen and put it through the copper pipe they have here. And I'm not being exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating. You could take a ballpoint pen and put it through the copper pipe they use, the low quality copper pipe they use, and it's not high quality copper, it's just soft, malleable copper. Okay, so all right. So how many rooms will your hotel have? The hotel on the first two floors will have 8 rooms. On the third floor, I will be living in at least half, if not three-quarters, of the third floor and have either 1 or 2 rooms available. And the top floor is for appliances, like if I have an air handler, water tanks, water pumps. If I want to have high pressure water in the house, I'll have to have a pump up on top with an expansion tank. So 8 rooms for sure, unless if I take the whole top floor. 9 or 10 rooms if I only take 2 or 3 rooms on the third floor. The fourth room could be part of it, could be just an observation deck. But I want to put a concrete roof on it so you'll be able to see even further. And hopefully I could put some of the tanks or apparatus up on the top floor. That's a good question. Thank you. All right. So that question was from Rudes 440 SB. Ah, okay. Ophir is where the gold from King Solomon. I don't know. I don't know. I'll take your word for it. I will read about it. Danny Gordon has built in the Philippines. I'd like to hear your opinion about when you give Filipinos advice how to do something that you have expertise in. Danny, do they take your advice? Yes, I will fill in the plumbing. Thank you. If anybody wants to see a funny video, I got to tell you, he didn't even. You can post that video on any one of my channels, Bob. Bob is a very big fan of JLB. He loves JLB, and he made a love story video for JLB. It's a real love story. And Bob, if you want to post a link on my video, I have to tell you, it's funny as all get out. So is Bob's facial expression. Bob is one of these. He's a little bit round like me, but he's got a persona about him. Bob is the kind of guy that could walk into any party and make them laugh within seconds. I think he would make me laugh. Me and him would be laughing together and making other people laugh at a get together. So Bob has a real unique perspective on some of the bloggers in the Philippines, but he has a really cool JLB video. My goodness, it's like one of the most amazing, because he's not arrogant, it's not abusive, it's pretty subjective actually. Okay, thanks, Bob. Okay. Peekaboo, you're welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for your help. And I apologize for getting upset, but that's how I am. I'm not so upset that it's going to affect my day. I'm going to still go swimming in about an hour. Scott asked the question, are any of the rooms going to be larger or smaller in size? Well, on the second floor and the third floor, there are 4 rooms on each floor, but either one of the rooms is going to be smaller than the other 3, which is what I prefer, and that's being that I'm building it, that's what I'll do. Or all 4 are going to be smaller to compensate for the staircase that goes up through the second and third floor. I haven't worked the size of the rooms out, but right now we have 3 rooms at approximately 11 feet. And then there's 6 feet. The whole top floor is 44 feet wide. The whole building is 44 feet wide. So I could have 3 rooms that are 10 feet and then have a very small room, almost like a big closet for people for a real super discount, but with a view of the ocean. I think that would work too. So thanks for the question, Scott. Okay, so I'm not able to see the chat now. It disappeared. So some of the rooms are going to be a different size, or they're all going to be smaller. But I prefer the 3 big ones, three larger and 1 very small room. This way it could be called the discount room. No, Bob. Those 2 people wanted to meet me. There are a lot of, Bob, that's a really good question. There's a lot of things I would do in life. Okay. I can watch somebody for 30 seconds and know more about that person than the person they lived with for the last 3 months. If they're putting out information, I can't watch them sleeping, but I could watch somebody do a video. Maybe I'm exaggerating. In 3 minutes of somebody doing a video and interacting with people on the street, I can tell you more about that person than maybe one of their family members. And those 2 people, JLB and Peter, no, meeting them would not be a priority. It probably is a good thing that I never met them, because I would have nothing to say to them. No, there is nothing. I'll give you, for instance, Peter. I don't know what Peter is, but Peter and we differ on almost every situation. And Peter, with his background, I would have nothing to do with Peter in real life. Why would I meet him in the Philippines? And he's not from the construction background. He's not off the street, that's for sure. He's not a street guy. He might live in the streets in the Philippines, but he's not a street guy. Okay? Knows nothing about the street. Knows nothing about how to make friends with people, whether they're fake friends or real friends. He has no idea. Has no friends. So he knows nothing about the street or real life in general. And Jeff, he sells He sells, from what I understand, his job is he sells advertising on brochures. All right. He's never done anything with construction. He doesn't understand how the Philippines works. And before, one of the prerequisites before I would ever want to meet somebody is I'd want to see them with a woman. Because I don't really, I have been talking to people that for a few, maybe a couple of conversations back and forth, and then they send me a private message telling me that they're a ladyboy or they're gay. I'm not interested in that. Now, I'm not saying that Jeff is gay or a ladyboy, but I've been watching his videos for 8 years, 7 years, 6 years. I've never seen him with a woman. Why would I want to be with a man that's never been with a woman? Except for that one occasion, Jeff had a woman on a boat, but it looked like a woman, and I said, hold on a minute, hold on, the link. I said to Daisy, I said, look, Jeff is with a woman. Now, I didn't have my glasses on. He was on some kind of banker boat, and they were in Boracay, and Daisy started laughing. And I said, what are you laughing at? She goes, that's not a woman, that's a bio. How could you tell? She goes, I know, because Filipinos know biotes better than anybody. Now, I can't say if it was or not, because I can't tell. And I can't tell because I've never spent enough time looking at ladyboys or gay men with or without makeup to even want to know the difference if a man is a woman or a woman is a man. When I go to Alona Beach, which is not so often, you can tell right away up close and personal. But this video that Jeff put out to show that he was with a woman, the whole entire length of the facial expression, there was this much of the face, like maybe this much of the face, something like this, and it lasted like 1.5 seconds. Well, that's not a man who talks about going to the Philippines, that talks about meeting women and having a girlfriend, the same girlfriend for 4 years. That's not the kind of person I would want to meet. Our prerequisite is for me to know that you at least enjoy women. I don't see that. So no, I never met. That's a great question. I never met JLB, and Peter is no different. Have you? I never saw Peter with a woman. So those two people have a lot more in common than not in common, because neither one of them have ever been, to my knowledge, with a woman, except Jeff. And Daisy said that it was a ladyboy. Daisy's pretty smart when it comes to a lot of things, and she could spot one of them ladyboy. She could spot a ladyboy. We're walking in the mall. She knows. Daisy's really smart in a lot of ways. I don't know where Daisy is right now. Okay, Danny Gordon answered my question. Okay, completely. Completely. Okay, somebody asked a question. Okay, let's go down through the comments systematically. Stop making comments for a few minutes so I can read these comments and react to them. All right, Danny, I don't want to talk about, you're not going to buy galvanized pipe here that has any kind of life expectancy. You can expect galvanized pipe to rust out in 8 to 12 years. The stuff I've seen here is pure, unadulterated garbage. They have to vacuum wrap the galvanized pipe fittings in the store, where they also put a price on them. But I have some of their fittings in a box. The galvanizing is already leaching oxidation, metal oxidation through the galvanized. I never put a wrench on them. The galvanized products here are garbage. I'm going to America when it comes time to do the serious plumbing, and I'm going to buy I'm loading up a container, and I'm just going to buy all my PVC fittings and glues there in America and just bring it back here. I'll pay the import fees. You can't buy a decent piece of PVC here. Not possible. Let's stop talking about plumbing. Thank you. Okay, we talked about me meeting JLB or Peter, those two guys are two peas in a pod. Neither one of them have I ever seen with a woman for a quick synopsis. Never seen either one of them with a woman, except that 2-second blurb on JLB's video, and Daisy said it was a lady boy. Those two people I'm not interested for that fact alone. If I don't see you walking around with a babe, a girl, a woman, a wife, a girlfriend, and treating her good, not a bar girl, even if it's a bar girl, if you treat her okay, maybe I'd be interested in meeting her. If you have a, but you can't come here and abuse women and expect me to want to be with you. Like I said in the beginning, some people ask me to give them a shout out, and you go there, you see the guy talking to women in a manner that would be inappropriate for me. Well, it's the kind of guy I wouldn't want to be with. Not saying he's a bad guy, and I'm not saying that some of the girls in the Philippines don't like that. I'm saying I don't choose, or I choose my friends based on moral turpitude or the ability to evaluate and interpret moral turpitude, which could change from one situation to another. You could have morals up the yin yang, and someone goes to harm one of your children, and your morals go right out the window. So I'm not talking about a strict set of guidelines. I'm talking about basically not to harm the harmless or hurt the innocent. Okay? It's a basic premise in life. Don't do harm to the harmless and don't hurt the innocent. You'll probably live a lot longer. Back to the comments. Inked Up Gaming loves all my videos. Thank you. Now, Danny Gordon answered the question. I asked Danny Gordon what was his reaction to the Filipinos that worked for him when he did building in the Philippines. In other words, do Filipinos listen to people with high construction level skills or high level skills in construction? Do Filipinos listen to instructions would be a better way to put it. I know what the answer is. The answer is they do not. Do not come here and expect you to tell a Filipino what your knowledge base is. Even 38 years as a licensed contractor in America, Filipinos won't take so much advice from me as to how to pull nails with a crowbar instead of a 16-ounce round claw hammer. They won't do it. They'll do it for as long as you're standing there. They'll throw the crowbar on the floor 45 seconds after you disappear around the corner, and they go back to pulling it with a hammer, even if it takes 5 minutes to pull one nail with a hammer, and it takes 15 seconds to pull it out with a crowbar. That's how they're going to do it. They're not going to use a skill saw. You can give them a skill saw in electric, and they know how to use a skill saw in electric, but they're going to use a hand saw. Job security. But instructions on how to do specific things, they don't listen to. Now, Danny Gordon said, good luck getting Filipinos to do anything in order or properly. In order or properly. That has a meaning. In order means the systematic arrangement of the tools and the job perspective, or the perspective of the job, the scope of the job. If Danny's a contractor, he knows what that means. It has a specific meaning that you have to know to take the general contractors or any contractor. So the layout of the tools, the perspective, the scope of the job, and then the physical reality of doing the job. Filipinos have none of that. They just go about it in a haphazard way. So good luck getting this is Danny's answer. Good luck getting Filipinos to do anything in order or properly. I am bringing some tools when I come there soon. The biggest problem you will have is workers faking injuries. And there you go. See, Danny's a contractor. Well, understands the mentality of supervisory positions. Let me explain to you again. Let me explain to you again the rules here in the Philippines. To get insurance is theoretically impossible at a price that's ridiculous for the amount of insurance that you could get. Now, 2 years ago, I've never hired anybody ever, not even for a day. Given people advice working down the block or next door, but I have never hired a Filipino. And I actually don't ever plan on hiring a Filipino. That would make my life more complex than it needs to be. And there's a reason, there are several reasons for that. One, they won't listen to me. So therefore, if I gave them instructions and they didn't do what I instructed them to do, the job would be gone. The possibility of them working for me would just disappear. I don't, as a licensed jet mechanic, I read a book, a spec book on how to do the job. I ask my crew chief or my foreman how to do the job. I ask somebody else on the crew how to do the job. I take notes, I make notes, and I read the book not once or twice or three times, sometimes 5 times, if I don't understand it. I don't even start the job till I know how to do the job. Filipinos are not like that. They're not going to listen to you. They're not going to take your advice. We've been past that. By superseding that, they're not going to take your advice. Here's the law in the Philippines. If you get insurance to hire a Filipino, it's a ridiculous amount of money, and it maxes out at $2,000 or $3,000, which is, 100 years savings for a Filipino. However, the hospital bill could be that easily. But that's not the complicated part. We don't have $1 million insurance policies here in the Philippines. There are other reasons I've never hired a Filipino. They're personal, and they're none of your business. But I know that my personality would clash with their personality, so there would be no reason to try. Aside from the fact that after 3 days, they think if you hire an additional Filipino, I've seen this happen on other job sites. The first guy hired somehow becomes the boss, even if the second guy knows more. So you got to hire the foreman first. You can't have a crew, an existing crew, and bring in a guy and say, this is the new foreman. It's not going to work out well for anybody. But moving back to the insurance aspect, you hire a Filipino. You hired a Filipino when you came here. First of all, that's a no-no. Second of all, not going to listen to you. He's not going to listen to your wife that speaks his language either. He's going to do it exactly how he wants to do it. And it doesn't matter if he knows how to do it in an efficient manner or not. He's not going to listen. Moving on past that, the average Filipino, if he gets hurt, has no hospital insurance of his own. So you have to pay. You immediately have to pay all bills related to the injury. Doesn't matter. If he goes into the hospital and it's a 500,000 pesos, you need to come up with 10 grand cash to pay that bill the day it's due. If you don't, you're going to jail. Okay? They might give you, they might just take your passport away and put you on a blacklist where you can't leave the country. But you're probably going to go to jail if you don't have that money fast. Or put it on a credit card, something. You need to pay the hospital bill. And then the guy says, I'm injured, I can't go back to work. Maybe forever. Whatever his salary was that week, you have to pay that for the rest of his life. It comes out of your pocket. There is no workman's comp. So if you think you have enough money to pay some guy that's going to fake an injury, and then he can say he's not able to work, and very well he might not be able to work. And then he says, well, I'm going to move to Mindanao, into Zamboanga, into a jungle. You're never going to see him again. But you can't prove he's better. So that check goes to him, whatever your arrangement is, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. That money goes to him every month, unless you can prove he's able to work or working somewhere. And I'm going to tell you something. You're not going to Zamboanga del Norte to find out if that guy is working. First of all, you're not going there. And second of all, you're not going there. And third of all, Nobody wants you there. So, fourth, you're not going there to find that guy. And he could just say he's in Zamboanga. We don't have street addresses here. So, no. Danny, you're right. And Danny brings me to the next point of hiring people in the Philippines. What you cannot do is you cannot hire a Filipino, but you can hire a Filipino, a licensed Filipino contractor. You better have deep pockets, because if you think contractors in America gouge, Filipinos make the American contractors seem like cream puffs. I got a price. No, I got a price for as a contractor. One of the places I lived, the owner was doing some work. So I talked. I knew I gave them an estimate what it should cost in Filipinos' monies, based on man hours and material costs, because I was researching building a house at the time. So I had the materials lists and costs. And I figured the job would be 1.2 million pesos. And it would take 3 to 4 months with a 6-man crew, good 6-man crew. A guy comes on. He comes on a motorcycle. He doesn't have a clipboard. He doesn't have a briefcase. He doesn't have a portfolio of work he's done. He doesn't have anything. Doesn't have a calculator. He doesn't have a calculator. He doesn't have a pen and paper. He doesn't have a business card. And I explained to him the scope of the job. And the owner of the hotel was standing next to me. And I told that man, he spoke English. I told that man, I gave him the plans because the owner of the hotel didn't know how to read the plans so well. I gave him the plans. I said, so here's the owner. You talk to this man or this woman, husband and wife. You talk to them in Visaya or in your language, and you give them a price. Then I said 1.2 million pesos. He looked at the plans as I went over the window layout. You could do this. It's not a big job. You could do it for 1.2. Let's go on the high end, 1.75 million pesos, which is 27,000, no, $27,000. I think a million pesos is $20,000. A million pesos is $10,000. A million pesos is $10,000. A million pesos is $20,000. A 1.7 be $20,000. You could do the job for under $20,000 right away. I mean, he looked at the plans. He made like he was looking at the plan. In 5 minutes, he came back. He walked away. He talked to somebody on the phone, and he came back with a price, 4.5 million pesos. That's more than 2.5 times the price that it could be done for. Of course, he gave them a price. 2.5 times the price of the value of the job based on my understanding of construction. And my understanding of construction is far superior than any of you people on, maybe not Danny, or maybe somebody, maybe there's 10 people here that know more about construction than me. But my understanding of how to bid a job is superb. Okay? So, there you go. Danny just said it. You're never going to hire a Filipino and be happy. Your only solution is to hire a contractor. And if you don't get a reasonable contractor, which is what if you hired the men, which you can't do. If you hired the men, which you can't do. If you hired the men, which you can't do. If you did, and your price would cost you 1.5 million pesos, the contractor is going to charge you 3 million pesos. Going to double whatever it costs. So he makes money if he does it under 1.5, and he loses a little bit of money if he does it for more than 1.5, but he's still making 1.5 million pesos. You know how many people in the Philippines have 1.5 million pesos, have made that much in their lifetime from the time they were born? Not many. Okay, next question. Okay, everything collectible. You know, that's the whole point of this video. You people keep wanting me to give you information for free. Information is time. Time is money. Where is the link to the video of JLB and Peter Van Diva? There's lots of links, lots of videos. They're on my Patreon account. You need to pay, well, to see those videos, you might have to pay $10 a month because some of them are a little bit abrasive. If you don't want to become a Patreon member, fine. If you don't have $3, let's talk about you cheap son of a... Let's talk about you cheap... Let's talk about you cheap... Let's talk about you cheap people on YouTube. Okay. Let's talk about you people. This is for you. You cheap. You want to come here, you want to ask me questions. Not Danny. I'll give you answers to your questions. But if you want to see, if you want real answers to the Philippines, you got to watch my videos on Patreon, or I'll give you a call. I'll tell you stuff about the Philippines you couldn't even imagine to be true. I ain't going to do it here because the video would get flagged. But on Patreon, I do it. Do you want to become a member of my Patreon account? You can ask any question. I'll call you up. I wouldn't even put some of this stuff in writing. I'd have to have your name and your email address before I'm going to call you up. I have to know who you are before I say what I'm going to say about you. Because even though nothing that I say is illegal, you're going to have to pay for that information. Whether it be me getting you a hotel, or me getting you a discount on airfare or flight accommodations, or how you can get a discount. People want all these links for free. It's for free once you become a member of my Patreon account. Then you can see what's available at the different tiers from $1 to $50. Don't ask me to give you links to videos that are basically listed as age restricted. This is for you people that want everything for free. This is for you. This was the point of the video. If you really want to know questions, you want to have your questions answered, you become a member of my Patreon account, and I'll answer your questions. At a certain level, I'll call you up on the phone. You want to Skype? I'll let you Skype too, after I get to know you a little bit. I'm not going to be on Skype and have you waste my time to set something up with you, and then you come, phone call come. I have had people call me up. One of those guys who was a troll, for sure, wanted to, hey, I want to send you this. I want to send you that. I called the guy up. Within 25 minutes, the guy wanted to buy a floor of my hotel. He was willing to send me stupid amount of money as long as he could have the 4th floor or the 3rd floor to himself. Okay? Come on, dude. First of all, the plans are, this area is zoned for 4 floors. But I'm not going to change the plans. It could take 6 months to a year. But that's not the point. First, he wanted to send me a pasalubong, a free box of stuff. Then he wanted to send me stuff I didn't want, and I told him I don't want that stuff. And then he said, I'll buy a floor of your hotel. I said, we're done. I don't want you. I don't know you. And then he said, I'm going to come and build the hotel. I'm coming there to build the floor myself. So what do? Stop? What do? Help him build his floor? This is the kind of stuff you get on YouTube that you don't understand. So the people that can't afford $3 a month, we're going to go into my little diatribe. You spend $3. A pack of cigarettes is $12 or $15. You smoke a pack a day, you're spending $3 while you watch my videos. Can't afford $3 a month? Don't come on to my channel and ask me questions. Comments are disabled because of you cheap, what we call in the Philippines, tehik, sons of witches. That's WITCHES. You cheap tehik, sons of witches. Come here and you want free information. No, no more. That game has left town. You want information, you come to my Patreon, you enjoy over 384 videos right now. You enjoy 384 videos that I have listed as age restricted. At the $10 mark, you can see 95% of those videos. At the $5 mark, you might be able to see 40% of those videos. At the $3 mark, you can see 10% of those videos. If you can't afford $10 a month, You don't belong on YouTube. You need to be looking for a job. If you can't afford $10 a month for quality entertainment, you need to be looking for a job. Switch browsers and go look for a job. Don't come here and ask me for free stuff. This DOD is for you. The link to JLB and the Vandiva videos are on my Patreon account, probably at the $10 mark. I pay no attention to that. If it's a good video or a long video, a very comedic video, you need to pay $10 to see those videos at that level. You don't want to pay $10, pay $3 and watch some of my older Obama comedy videos. I have thousands of them. I have 3,000 videos that are not published or made or public. You can get to see them all because I'm switching them over to Patreon. Moving back to the comments. I'm not going to get involved with the quality of the blocks I use. What is wrong with you people? You can't buy quality blocks here in the Philippines. They don't make them. They're not even available. You can go to 75 block companies between here and Tagbilaran, and you can't buy a quality block. What they call a quality block, a seasoned quality block, can't buy it. You want to know more about it? Ask me a question on Patreon. Done. We're not going to talk about JLB anymore because I've never seen JLB with a woman. So all I need to know about JLB. Conversation is over. You can talk about him if you want. Okay, Scott. We're going to talk about Scott reading my book, Angels on the Ark. Scott's been reading my book, Angels on the Ark. I can only read a small amount in a single setting because the information is so mind-bending and so densely distributed. It takes more time to digest than to initially read. I would suggest if you're going to read my book, to read it from cover to cover, because many of the questions to your questions in a previous chapter will be answered before you get to the end of the book. Because I skip around. I'm a published author, but I'm not. So I didn't have somebody spend $50,000. I didn't. They wanted $50,000 to organize my book for me. I said it's an order enough for me. It works for me. I proved what I wanted to prove. I proved the Vatican controls America. You don't believe me? Buy the book for $2.99. You don't have $2.99? Get off of YouTube. Get off of YouTube. If you can't afford $3 for a 1,990-page ebook, get off of YouTube. Stop watching YouTube. You spend $150 a month to watch football. If you can't spend $3 for a 1,990-page Kindle edition ebook, get off of YouTube. So I would suggest that if you're going to read the book, read it from cover to cover, like when you read the Bible. Read the Bible from cover to cover. Read it from start to finish without digressing backwards in any degree. Then read it again, and then start rereading paragraphs. Because first you have to read the whole Bible, because there's a lot of conflicts of interest in the beginning that get answered. Like that's the way you. That's the way I've read the Bible more times than most priests. Okay. I don't meet other YouTube. The answer to you, I have no wish, want, or desire to meet anybody on YouTube that makes videos. If I was around Bill Landhawk, if I was in his area, him I would make an effort to say hello to. He seems like just a nice guy, but I have been solicited by less than 10 people to meet. I wasn't interested. If those people, I grew up in a whole different world than the people that make videos on YouTube. A whole different world. There's a lot of information about where I grew up. Now I'm not interested in meeting those people. I don't have anything. I just recently became aware of one of them from a radio show. Oh my God, what they did to that guy. And if what they say is true, and I have no reason to believe it's not true, I have to tell you, I'm surprised the guy is still in the Philippines. And the other guy, no, never asked me to say we may have said hello 4 or 5 years ago, but I have no reason to meet anybody. Not, I don't see my big problem with most bloggers is that they're alcoholics. I don't meet you if you're an alcoholic. If you're blogging about how many beers you had last night and you're in a bar with, dancing girls, it's not what I'm interested in. It's not something that ever interested me. It was always my honest opinion that if you wanted, I don't know, a relationship with a woman, even if it was for just one night, to make a nice dinner and have a nice conversation with them. And then if something happens, then something happens. If it doesn't, you had a nice dinner. But to go into a strip joint and meet a woman, I see a video like that, I have no need to want to be with those people. And no need. That's not what I'm about. I'd rather take a rear end out of my car or a tractor or with my old tractor. I'd rather change a seal on a wheel than go to a strip bar. Even if you were going to pay for it. Never had a lap dance, never won a lap dance at a bar. And I probably have more knowledge about that kind of stuff because I did work in bars where there was back rooms where that stuff went on. I never had anything to do with the people in the bar. I just worked there. Solar energy. Why don't you come over and ask me about that on Patreon? I'll make a video for you. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, let's see. I don't know where that came from. Oh boy, I don't see. Somebody left a $20. I don't know how to see where that is. Okay, I'm gonna have to scroll down. I wish I could. Oh, all right, I'm at the bottom. Somebody left a $20. Oh my God, that's just like so darn amazing. That's really amazing. Thank you. I don't know who you are. Leave a message. It didn't show. Oh, here you are, right there. Danny Gordon. Danny Gordon. That's the contractor. That's the man that is a real man. I don't have to know anything about. I don't have to know how big Danny is. I don't have to know how strong he is. That's a man. Doesn't matter what he looks like. Doesn't matter his age. If that man owned, and he did, because I believe him, if he owned drill rigs and from the other equipment that he mentioned, he's a man, not what I consider a man. And that's why I never met anybody named JLB or Peter. They're not, in my perception of reality, because that's all we really have. They're not men. They look like men, like they. I had a friend of mine called Bill Sharkey. He looked like, oh God, the guy looked like he was handsome, blonde hair, blonde curly hair, Italian Irish mix. One of my best friends saved me a beating on my life when I got attacked in Jamaica, Queens. When I was 11 years old, Billy was about 17 or 18. Billy looked like the nicest guy you'd ever meet in your entire life. I'm telling you, can never tell what a person looks like and what they're capable of. You look up Bill Sharkey. He fought for the light heavyweight with a 11-pound weight disadvantage, and the guy couldn't knock him out. And he was another famous guy. My friend Mike Stone, who's the world's martial art karate championship of all time, 91 fights, no losses, one contested, and one draw. Okay. You look at Mike Stone, he's 75 years old, it'll take you apart. Take you apart. It'll take you apart. I don't care how big or tough you are. He can still do that. Danny Gordon asked me intelligent questions. I gave him what he requested. And I asked him intelligent questions, and he gave me what I requested. That's a conversation. That's what men do. We could even differ on opinions. He might like, I sincerely doubt it, I'm just using this as an example, but he might not like to go scuba diving. And I like to go scuba diving, so we have a conflict of interest. Well, Danny could sit on the boat and watch the dolphins roll through the water while I go scuba diving, because he's a man. I could be connected to somebody just because they're a contractor. Now, I couldn't be connected to a stone cold alcoholic. I have no wish, want, or desire to be with somebody that goes to girly bars. I have been in them. I'll tell you a story. You want to hear a story? I'll give you a story. Let me go back up, and Danny, thank you. Let me go back up here so I don't miss some of the comments. All right. I'm going to tell you a story about, I've been in what they call a girly bar. I could be exaggerating, but it could be 7 times. Okay. I know for a fact that 4 of those times were for bachelor's parties. But the first bachelor party that I went to, this is a story. I'm going to just stop reading the comments where I am. I'm going to tell you a story about a real internal medical doctor that lives in New York City that I grew up with. Okay? I don't need the glasses for this one. One of my best friends when I was a child, as childhood friends. Really smart. Went to school in Italy because he couldn't get into school in America. In Italy, you have to take, this is a true story, 100% true. In Italy, you have to learn the Italian language to test in Italian to take the doctor's exam. I need water. Hold on. You know what? I have pineapple. Let me get a piece of pineapple. And I'll tell you about Dr. Joe. The Dr. Joe story should be a separate story all by itself. Anyway, it comes time. Dr. Joe goes to Italy, come back in the summer for a month. We would always talk. Comes back from his senior year, and now he's going to get married to a lizard. That's but anyway, just remember lizard. So Dr. Joe, this is going to hurt, buddy, but you really pissed me and my brother off when you were going to charge me $150 for an exam after I gave you thousands and thousands of dollars of help in in construction and doing work for you and helping you. So this is going to hurt. So Dr. Joe has his brother, his oldest brother. I think it was his older brother. We should have went to Tootie's. Anybody that knows Tootie's used to be in Queens on Liberty Avenue. We should have went to Tootie's. It's a nice old-time bar all the guys from all the different. It's a neutral bar owned by a police, a detective. I don't remember what Tootie's. There was Tootie Junior and Tootie Senior. They made free food, get drunk, have a good time. If you wanted to bring in a stripper, you could. They didn't care, even though the man who owned the bar was a police officer, detective. He had no morals. Tootie's on Liberty Avenue. We should have made. This was before they had video cameras. You weren't allowed to make videos in there anyway, because every wise guy in America that came to New York hung out in Tootie's. So, or in Queens anyway. So we went to the girly bar on Rockaway Boulevard, but near the airport. And the name evades me because I was only in there that one time. It was right off the Van Wyck Expressway, maybe 10 or 12 doors even, maybe less. It was a door. You knock on the door, you go in, it's a strip joint. So Dr. Joe got hammered. Okay, this is why I don't like alcohol. He got hammered. Hammered. I mean hammered. I don't know why. I have no idea why he was a full-fledged medical doctor with a degree at that point, getting ready to do his internship at Queens General Hospital. No idea why he got this drunk. And there was girls on the stage that you could put money in the underwear with. And Joey was asked to go put money in the garter belt. And he went up on stage and she started gyrating and she took the it was only a garter belt. It wasn't like a G-string. It was a full garter belt, like with stockings and stuff like that on, with the black line along the back. She started gyrating in front of Joey and gyrating on him, and he got all hot and bothered. And she bent over backwards and pulled her garter belt down and the stockings. And Joey started to go to work, giving her the tongue lashing of her life. But as he started to get down and get down and get down, she turned around and faced the audience. And I got to tell you, it looked like Howe Cavern in California. It was a massive cave, massive. You could see it. Well, we were only 6 feet away, and we were taking pictures. God knows where any of those pictures are. But the DOD would get lost in this girl's Como Sikiyama. And he proceeded to work that thing until his brother and I, we had to leave. We had to leave. We walked outside and I said, I can't be part of this. He goes, me neither. And we left. We went home. The bachelor guy who threw the bachelor party went home. And his other, there were 5 brothers. The other brothers took him home. So that's why I don't drink alcohol. I didn't drink alcohol then either. But that's the kind of stuff people do. Okay, so now. Okay, so we were at Scott's. Okay, so now. Oh, boy. Pedro, I don't know. Thank you. Okay, Pedro, I don't know. I'm not going to. If it got spammed, I'm not going back to see what it looks like. And there's a lot of spam comments. Okay, the one and only Bob. The one, the only, the Bob. Fasten your seatbelts, Dorothy, because you are in the Philippines now. That's right. Okay, now, lefty room. Chris Wren. Now, I like Chris. He's doing okay. That boy, he ain't knows how to work the system. I got to tell you, Chris, if there was a God, he has blessed you with the gift of asking for something without asking for it. I'm going to give you, for instance, so that you don't think that I'm making this up. But he walks up to the house, Chris, my friend Chris. Okay, I like you. You know I like you. But you walk up to the house and say, "Oh, if I only had the money to fix the roof, I can't believe that the roof should have a bend in it." I've watched all your videos. The roof should have a bend in it because when the wind comes, it flaps up, but I don't have the money to hire the guy. And then the dog runs by. Oh my God, the dog is out. And last night the dog was with another dog. I hope the dog doesn't have puppies because we don't have the money for the puppies. And then you walk underneath your awning that you said you were going to fix 3 months ago. You were going to put some more vertical supports and some more what they call stanchions, or at least supports down to your neighbor's roof. You never did that. Chris is not mechanical, got a great personality. Somehow he has people sending him pieces to build a supercomputer. Chris, you got to give credit to Chris. Chris, oh, then you walk into the kitchen. Chris, this is the one I love. You walk into the kitchen, you say, we want to put cabinets up on that, but we don't even have the money for the plywood. I wish I did because that would be where we would put the cupboards. And then you didn't have the fan for the wall. And then some guy, I don't know, Bill bought you the fan. And thanks to Bill, you got a fan. Every time you mention you need something, it appears. It's like magic. You are the magic blogger of the Philippines. Well, there's another guy too, but we want not. I don't want to talk about the other guy, but you have a distinctive style. It's almost like I grew up on the street, and it's almost like you grew up on the street, but I know you didn't because you have no knowledge of the street. But you have the ability to ask for things in such a way that is just effing amazing. It's effing amazing. It's effing amazing. My friend Chris, and he is my friend. We like each other, pretty much. Not. We don't like everything about each other, but if you ask Chris a question, he'll tell you the truth. See, that's the difference. That's why I call him my friend. He's never lied to me. Always tells me the truth. Never lies. When he tells you he has no money for that wooden cabinet, he's serious about not having money for the plywood. He gets the money, and he tells you who gave it to him. But he doesn't have the money. I don't know where he got the money from for the baby. He didn't have the money for the first baby. And now he's having a second baby. It amazes me. The gifts that Chris gets, and God bless him. He doesn't have a mean or malicious bone in his body. There's nothing mean or malicious about Chris. Nothing. He might not, he might rub you the wrong way. I know darn well he's not a sissy. I know he doesn't like ladyboys or gays. I mean, not that he dislikes them. I know he lived with one. I doubt very much he had a relationship with the guy. It might have just been a financial arrangement. There's a lot of gay ladyboys in the Philippines with a lot of money. Just because you're gay doesn't mean you didn't come from a rich and powerful family, no matter what your nationality or race is. So Chris is a nice guy. I like Chris. Nobody's going to say anything bad about Chris. I talk the truth about Chris. He talks the truth about what he does. Chris has had problems with the local workers because he doesn't know how. It doesn't matter if he knows how to run a crew or not. That's life in the Philippines. Get used to it. All that said, they are good people. Agreed, Danny Gordon, I agree with you. They are good people. But they will do things the way they want. Like, I don't worry about I don't worry about people bothering me where I live. There's no crime here. Other people live in places where there's crime. Yesterday, I'll give you a for instance, okay? When somebody says thank you like this, thank you 3 times, it means they're showing you great respect. I was swimming yesterday, and on the way back after my camera got destroyed, which I'm not happy about, I have it out in the sun. I blew it out, and we'll see what happens, but it's never going to work again. But on the way back from swimming, there was a dive boat, a support dive boat, and there was a a rope on the dive boat, and I can't walk so good because my foot is injured, and I was holding on to the rope that ran across the bow. It was on the gunnel deck, but it was also running across the bow. By the time I got to the bow, I fell and I pulled the rope sideways. The boat had spun around on its mooring because the wind shifted. Or there were 3 children playing outside the boat and 1 child in the boat. They might have shifted the boat by playing, just twisting it around. But either way, two like 4 kilos of weight, two 2-kilo weights on a strap left the bow of the boat. Now, the boat was in a position where they could almost see the captain of the boat and the deckhand of the boat, and they were watching me because I was by the boat for a while. One thing Filipinos are is they're observant. So we're going along with Danny's comment that they're nice people. They are good people. Now they could have in another place you couldn't go swimming by yourself, but I go swimming by myself all the time. So the weight belt fell in the water. Now they saw the splash. Now I don't know if they saw the splash, but when I bent down and picked up the dive belt, I just threw it back up on the deck, up against what is called the chock, the cleat, the deck cleat. And when I looked up, all 4 men that were sitting on the bench were looking at me. So I didn't want them to think I did anything wrong. They all know me. But that boat, it was the first time that boat came to this beach. I never saw that boat before. Might be here on and off for a month, but I never saw it before when I go swimming. Because I need to get ready to go. And those guys were new. Because when I walked up to the bench, they were all looking at me, and I said, the other 2 men, they know who I am. And I said to the men, the dive belt, which they understand in English, the dive belt, naug, fell down in the water. Naug dagat. I take the dive belt, saka, on the deck. And the guy goes, the 2 men, in harmony, 2 men went, like they were bowing down to, a Zen master, a Buddhist, maybe a Buddhist, a master of yoga or something. How you'd bow down to your the person that you studied under, just showing respect. And they're genuinely nice. Now I just made 2 more friends. There is nobody here that won't stop and say hello. There's nobody here that won't ask me into their house if they're having dinner. There's nobody here that doesn't invite me to their barbecue if I'm walking down the block. There is nobody here that dislikes me. Even though at one time somebody gave me some crap, and I was like 2 years ago, gave me a little bit of gruff, and I went out there and I said, that's just not acceptable. He spoke English. So we have to become friends, you and me, because you're a big tough guy around here. Me and you have to become friends. We can't be enemies. And we have been friends since that day. He was testing me. That's what he was doing. He was testing the foreigner. So you can't be disrespectful to them, but you can't act like a. And plus we agree on a lot of other things. Since we became friends, we agree on a lot more than we disagree with. But anyway, that's my story about Dr. Joe and my story about respectful people in the Philippines, going back to Danny Gordon's comments. They're very respectful. I get on a jeepney, say hello to 100 people, 99 of them will say hello back with a smile. That's it. Thank you, Danny. That's a very intelligent and very good observation of the people. And that's across the board in the Philippines. Even the people in the slums, which I have to admit, I've been to two or three times with a girl that lived in one of those places. Even they're very respectful. But if you leave your stuff in the house, it's going to disappear. But they're not going to they're not going to rob you, but if you leave it there and it disappears, no one knows where it went. But not here, not here in my province. No, nobody touches. The man who I was talking about keeps a strict and serious rule and regulation on touching things that don't belong to you. That man is somebody that you don't want to mess with, and everybody already knows that. Okay, there are tough guys in the Philippines too, you know. Okay, that's right, Bob. Okay, now we have a whole page. I have to shut this. Okay, Danny Gordon says you just need one bad contractor that is looking for an opportunity, and that might be it. Most are very good people, but I have seen and heard of people having to leave the country because of someone hurt. Yeah, I I don't know anybody that I have heard about that. I've never seen. I don't know anybody that's had to leave. Okay, actually, I don't have those kind of problems. I not with anybody. In fact, if I did, aside from the gangster, my friend, not he's not really a gangster, but aside from my friend, if I go into the city, um, I have friends everywhere. Let's just leave it at that. I don't worry about that. First of all, I don't cause. I know not to cause a confrontation with the people that are here. I know how easy it is to cause a confrontation, Danny. It doesn't take much. It could be something simple. They park their cars in front of my house, and I don't care. I could care less. I don't care if they park 1 or 50 cars when they go to the beach, when they have their festivals. Like 2 weeks ago, there was some festival. I don't know what it was. And a man parked his car where it would stop, not in front of my house, but where it would stop people from making a backup U-turn. So I said, "Sir, Palihob," and he came over. I said, "Over there, where the people, because he didn't speak English, the people want to come." I did it with my hands. They go to the Dagat and then Balak and then voila. He understood that. He said, "Okay, thank you." And he backed his car up 25 feet so that they could make the U-turn. Now, had I said to him, "Hey, so and so, get that car out of there," that'd be a problem. That would be a problem. That would be a problem. You can't talk to these people like that. You're not allowed. If you're on vacation, you're going to be here for a week, and you think that's acceptable, it's not advisable. So Danny's right. There are people that get asked to leave. He said, okay, well, I misinterpreted his question. He says he means faking injury. Yeah, that's true. A contractor could come on your job. You have to. I have a contractor if you want to build something in Bahal and not something small. He'd build my hotel if I wanted him to, but he doesn't. I don't know what a small job to him is. I know a small job to him is say 6 to 10 men for a month. That's a small job. I have a licensed engineer slash contractor slash perfect gentleman slash brilliant contractor, honest man. If you want to build in Bahal and you're a Patreon member, and I have some communication with you and find out what you want before you tell me, and you tell me what you want, and before I start wasting this man's time, he doesn't have time to answer the phone. I'm not going to start flying his number out to anybody. But if you're serious and you want to build in Bahal and Panglao, I'll get you a contractor. Or Cebu. He's licensed. He does big jobs, small jobs. He does every job. But he would not have a man fake an injury. But one of his men would not fake an injury either because he works with classic, nice gentlemen, working men. I work with them. I helped them out with a problem that they had. The barangay captain came to me and asked me if I could help with a problem, and I did. And no money was involved. And after that, my life got real easy. He said, "How much do you want?" I said, "No, no money. It's only going to take me a day. Can I buy you your fuel?" I said, "I don't want any money for fuel, dude. I can't work here in the Philippines. What if I give you something? You could probably, is that legal? If it's legal, I'll take something in return." So we worked out a deal. Okay. And it was a good deal for me. And it didn't cost him a penny. So, but anyway, and that contractor worked for the barangay captain. Always. He does all the work around here. Okay, Mr. Savoy 66. You're right. Life is good while you're breathing. Danny says he's not asking for anything in return. Danny, I tell you what, they just took the personal message base away. How would I? You can't. If you decide to ask for something, any information about the Philippines, I don't know how to contact people anymore. Oh, uh, I'll tell you what. I know how to contact you. Okay. If you want information when this video is rendered, which is going to take several hours, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours, the comments section is going to show up. But also, I'm going to allow comments on this video. The trolls will be disregarded and blocked. So I will get all the trolls off and they could start 5 or 6 more channels. But when the comments become available on the bottom of this, you leave a comment saying this is Danny Gordon, and I will leave you my Skype address. And then you will, when I press send the comment, you will get the comment and my Skype address, and then I'll hide your comment so that the comment remains being sent to you, but nobody else can see my Skype address. Not that it matters, because I don't have to accept anybody's Skype request. So that's, if you ever need anything, or you just want to send me a message, once you have my Skype address, if you live in America, I can call you directly. It's free. For me, it's free. I have a special calling service. You are coming to the Philippines. Wow. Danny Gordon is moving to the Philippines in 60 days. I remember I had the 69-day countdown to moving out of my house. Yeah, that's a big step, man. Congratulations. If you're living anywhere near me in Bahal, I would like to meet you. Yeah, that's just what I want to do. Say the F word on my perfectly non-cussing video so that some troll, some piece of garbage with arms and legs can get the self-satisfaction of flagging the video. That's what you are, a piece of garbage with arms and legs. Okay, we're down. All right, we're gonna go see. I'm still following comments here. Bob, I just love your personality. That video you made about JLB, that was worth its weight in gold. That is a classic, boy. I gotta tell you. Okay, so we're going down in the another gentleman. I don't know. I call you gentlemen. I hope you are gentlemen, because when we meet, you need to be gentlemen. I'm beyond that crazy stuff. And I'm not to where you are yet. The gentleman that left a $10 donation, but thank you. Okay, so, okay, yeah, I have a solid business model. Thank you. I've been doing the same type of work and nothing else, construction, since I was 17. Plus, I'm an A&P jet mechanic. Yeah, you know, Bob, I don't know. That man asked me to meet with me. At the time, I didn't know. I don't. I come from a really, really, really diversified background. Hanging out with people that you don't know, that somebody doesn't vouch for. Like, this is my friend. He can be your friend if you want him to be your friend. Or, Mike, this is the guy you're working with this week. He's a good guy. Then you go do your job. But Mike asked me to meet me, and I was new to the Philippines, and I have this rule about meeting people. If I don't know you, I probably don't want to know you. I have no idea how I grew up. It was better off. I met thousands of people in construction. I'm still alive because I never screwed anybody on a job or for a deposit. Never. There was zero There was zero cases against me from 1984 when I got my general contractors, general contractors license in New York, and before that I had a handyman license since 1976. There are zero. There's another guy named Mike Fazio with a whole bunch of lawsuits against him, but that's not me. Okay, and as far as Mike, man, that guy. I wouldn't trade if you gave me $100,000. I wouldn't trade places with him. If his heart is bad, and it probably is, I would rather be healthy and broke. And I'm not broke. I don't have the money to finish the second floor. I don't have the money to finish the first floor. But so when I start the rooms, at this point, right now, today, I have enough money to do the first floor. But I couldn't put the water tanks in. I could put the septic tank in and one small water tank. But I have a limited amount of funds today, but that's going to change. And there's a reason that's going to change. But today I have to watch how I can serve my money, which is why I worked out a deal for the machine. I fixed a piece of garbage machine, and I get the machine for free. Or any other piece of equipment that you see here is coming here for free. 100% libre. Okay, so yeah, that guy Mike, I don't know what his story is, and I don't watch his videos. I haven't watched even 1 minute of his after the heart surgery thing. And I watched his video where he was asking for money, and I watched for about I 10 minutes. Let's say I watched, and Daisy looked at me and said, "Turn that off." She did. She can't stand to hear people crying, and he was crying. And he was upset. I don't blame him for crying. I would be upset if I thought I was going to die. I don't know what I would do. I know the foot upset me, but I was in a lot more pain than was in. My foot, the amount of pain that's coming out of my foot right now would probably drop the average man. Not right now, but this week. It would drop them to their knees. You'd be crying. Especially when I went to the city to go to the doctors last Friday, and I walked around. Well, when I got home, it hurt. I took aspirin and nothing happened. I took another. It's only a 3 milligram, 3 milligram aspirin. I took another one and it was enough to go to sleep. But my God, oh God, my foot hurt. Oh, the pain. The pain was intense. Mike, got $30,000. You couldn't give me a heart operation and you want to give me $1 million. I wouldn't be interested. Danny, you are right again. I talked about quality block. You can buy a block making machine for $1,200. Or you can make a little form and make it yourself out of cement. That would be the way to do it. If I knew where Daisy was, I could even have her start making blocks, say maybe by December, because we're gonna need some blocks. Danny knows that the blocks here are garbage. There is no block. There is no block made here in Bohol. There is no block made here in Bohol that you could not take with a hat on, of course, and smash onto the average person's head. Just you do it yourself. There is no block here, 4-inch block, that you couldn't break with your head. And it wouldn't break your head. The block would break. There is no such thing as a block in Bohol. Now now it has vertical, what is called vertical strength, but it has no bending. You cannot bend it. It has compression. You could put compression strength on it, but it has nothing. Well, once you fill it up with concrete, it would be stronger. But Danny's way, to make your own block, you're basically making Portland cement block. This stuff here, they have block making machines. I have videos up of that. Thank you, Danny. Viola Russo. Wait, okay. Is picking, I have no idea. Sam Kennison of the Preachers. Gotta tell you, I don't know who that is. Sorry. Heard of the word Kennison. Okay, so a man made a $10 donation, and I don't see that comment where it is. The man's name. Ah, okay. Michael Lindorf. Michael Lindorf. Thank you. Okay, so see now, Michael Lindorf said, like your videos, comment, and I like your no bullshit style. We'll see you on Patreon. Thanks again. Well, thank you, Michael. And I wish I could portray my past with the people I associated with, even though I didn't do what they did for a living, but I built their kitchens and their bathrooms. So by association and by relative of a relative or a friend of a husband of a friend or wife's family at a get together, everybody knew me as no bullshit type of guy. Mike Fazio was the kind of guy that, let's say I give you a price for $75,000 and I write up a contract. Guy Recupero, who was the mastermind behind the Pizza Connection, well, I didn't know that, in Brooklyn on Avenue N and Schenectady Avenue. That was the pizzeria that got raided, and they found whatever they found. In 1977, no, wait. I met him in 77. 81, 82, I met Guy. Wants something, he wanted a pool in his backyard. What he wanted was an above ground pool in his backyard. So this relates to Mike Lindorf. This relates to Mike's comment about my no bullshit type of guy. So Ernie, whose last name will remain anonymous, introduces me to Guy and says, Mike Fazio is a stand-up guy. Tell him what you want. Write it down on a piece of paper. He'll give you a price. He'll stick to the price. The guy said, okay. So Guy and Monica and myself, Guy Recupero, he owned the warehouse that supplied Macy's furniture to Macy's. That was just one of his small businesses. I didn't know any of this at the time. I give him a price to put the pool in the ground. Put the pool above the ground, because then we'd put a below ground pool in when he realized he didn't like the above ground pool. I have a price like $18,000 with the deck. pumps, fencing around the perimeter of the property. I have pictures of that. Me with the jackhammer after I'm done putting the in-ground pool somewhere. Might have posted it to my Patreon, but I have pictures of me building that pool. Many pools. I was also a pool contractor for Esther Williams Pools at Long Island on Route 110 in Farmingdale, New York. You could look up Esther Williams Pools, Route 110, Farmingdale, New York. That's where I bought my pools from, the kits. Okay, so guy tells me he wants a pool, price for $18,000, whatever it was with the incidentals. Let's just say it was $20,000, because that's what he gave me. He goes, wait here. I don't know where he went. He got on his brand new freaking Harley Davidson motorcycle, came back in about 20 minutes. Wherever he went, it was quick, and he handed me 20,000 50s and 20s. So, a bag. He handed me a bag, a paper bag is what he handed me. So what's this? He goes, this is 20,000. Go inside and count it. But before I give it to you, I need this pool done by a certain date. So you give me 20,000 cash right now, I'll have the pool done in 2 weeks. Fences, slats in the fence, the deck, the pool, and he wanted a staircase 5 feet wide that went up like a moat. Okay? He handed me 20 grand. You don't even know me. He met me that day. Did his job. Okay. That guy introduced me to another guy, another one of his partners. 125,000 the other job was. Guy comes, write up a contract, write up what we're doing, comes back from, he was in an office, leaves, comes back with 125,000 in cash. Because if there are any extras, something we didn't talk about, you're going to get paid for that, but you got to do them. And I'll pay you at the end of the job when it's all done. I don't want to talk to you about money anymore. You just write down what the cost of the job is going to be, and you'll get the money. And he kept his word. This is how you do business in life. This is how you remain alive doing business with the guy who was behind the Pizza Connection, Guy Recupero, 38th Street, Schenectady Avenue Pizzeria, man who supplied Macy's furniture to Macy's stores nationwide. This is how you remain alive. So thank you, Mike, for the $10 donation, and that's just a little true story. Do you not believe me? Doesn't matter. How could I rattle off all that information without without the fact that it happened? I could tell you lots of stories about God. God. Oh, by the way, Guy did 6 to 12. I think he did 12. He came out, said to me, Mike, thanks for taking care of my wife and my child, because anything they needed in the house done, I took care of it. His wife, Monica, paid me. And I said, well, your wife paid me to do the work. He goes, no, we're going to go to Atlantic City. I said, I have no clothes to go to Atlantic City with. And I really can't afford to take, a week off to go to Atlantic City. He goes, no. He goes, come to work tomorrow in street clothes. We'll go tomorrow. I thought he was kidding, and he walked away. So the next day, I came to work in my work clothes. I was working for Ernie, lived across the street. And guy comes over and says, Mike, what are you doing? I said, I'm working. No, go get Tommy. And you and me and Tommy were going to Atlantic City, because Tommy also did work for Monica. Really, I don't have the money. I don't gamble. I never gambled in my whole life. He goes, don't worry, so I'll take care of you. He goes, but first we got to get some clothes, just like in the movies. Brings me to the city, gives me a cheap suit, $300 suit, shoes, socks. Guy comes in, cuts my hair while I'm waiting for the suit to be made, all done in one shop. We take a cab from the Clothier to the heliport on East 59th Street. East 59th Street, there's a heliport. 57th Street, I think it is. East 57th Street, there's a heliport there. We get into a Helicopter drives us to Las Vegas, and then we started. And we get to Las Vegas. He goes, "I'm going to give you two guys each $10,000 in cash. I'm going to give you 10,000, but you got to make me a promise." What's that? You got to lose this money, and when you lose it, I'll give you more. But we are here to lose money. You're not going home with any money in your pocket. You lose the money, come, I'll give you more. He lost 50 large. Me and Tommy lost 20 large. Okay. When we lost, by that time we were getting drinks for free and food free, and it was nice. I mean, I never got treated like that before. And he gave us some more money, but I didn't want the money. I gave it to Tommy. I said, I don't even find this enjoyable. But we kept a few dollars for food. I had a meal, I had another meal. I went to get a steak. It was a place I wanted to get a steak. So, but if you're not an honest businessman in New York, for the people that I grew up with, they find you in the trunk of a car, and you ain't looking for to replace a light bulb. So, Mike, I am a stand-up guy. Thank you for understanding. Oh God. Okay. Oh, I have work to do. We have to get rid of another one. Yep. Yes, we're going to hide that guy. He's gone. Ladies and gentlemen, another one of them is gone. He left 45 comments on my last video. Oh, we have more work for me to do. This is my new job, blocking trolls. Why would you bother? Why would you bother? What? Okay, so I didn't mention his name, though. Danny Gordon. I told you he was a real man. Oh boy. Maybe I should let Face come back so he could talk to Danny more. Unhide user. See if he has anything to say to Dan. I know I'm starting trouble. Okay. Nah, I'm not going to do that. Danny Gordon. This guy is this guy is a sad, sadistic piece of human garbage, and he is now blocked. That was the old me. Let's have some fun. But Danny Gordon told that guy that they have boxing rings in the Philippines if that guy wanted to meet him and box him. Personally, I don't know how to box. And I wonder if that guy knows how to box. I don't know anything about boxing. I wonder if you do. Do you? Why don't you go start another channel and come back on and tell Danny that you'll private message him. You could meet, and then I will make a video. I will make the YouTube video of YouTube boxing. I already know what the outcome is going to be. You're not going to show up. You're going to do a lot of blah, 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 and Danny's going to waste his time. That's the kind of guy you are. Well, Danny said it's my call. Nah, Danny, he's not worth the effort. Really. I dealt with him on my last live stream, and he left 100 comments on the three different names. It takes away from real conversation. But thanks for at least understanding my warped sense of humor. I have a warped sense of humor. If I would make the video, I'd even supply the towels. I'd even supply the ring. I'll pay for it. And it's not going to be a big ring. We're just going to set up some sticks on the beach. That's all they use here. They put 4 sticks on the beach and they box in sand. So if that's what it takes, I got rope. Thank you, Danny. Yeah, I don't. Some of these comments are getting a little. A little bit. Pamela Kerr Hansen. Thank you, Pamela. Okay. Wow. The face must have left like 25 comments. Oh my God. Oh my God. You two guys can go talk about. No, it's the face. Then look at all the comments this guy made. Yeah, that's just that's an effort in futility. My friend Scott Del Fuego, he made it perfectly clear. These people don't have anything else to do but break chops. Okay, that's right, Bob. I think you're Italian too. Honesty is the best policy when dealing with Italians. It's the best policy when you're working with people from the street. Can be no other way. Okay, Atlantic City, it is. Yeah, that was a misspeak on my behalf. I did say Vegas, and I've been to Vegas, and I have video, I have pictures of Vegas, and I went to Vegas with another man who pretty much did the same thing, but he's still alive. We don't talk about him. So I did misspeak. My apologies. But thanks for pointing that out. It was Atlantic City. How the hell could I get from New York City to Las Vegas by helicopter? And I've been to both many times. Why? Because we used to fly in and out of Atlantic City on a Cherokee Warrior 2. And my friend was a pilot, and he used to bring people on vacation to Atlantic City. And he'd ask me to come and sit in the right chair. So I would. So it was, I said it again, it was Atlantic City. But thanks for correcting me. Okay. I don't really care about your friend, dude. I don't know who you are. Okay, well, that's it. No more comments. Dan Hernandez, real conversation. Okay, become a member of my Patreon account if you want to have a real conversation. Oh boy, well, I'm back to work here. Blocking these guys, blocking, blocking, blocking. Wow, the guy made a hole. As if you're Italians are half breeds. See? You see, now, part of that conversation is true. And I'll tell you why it's true. Okay. He says Italians are half breeds. Not actually half breeds. We're like 10 to 20%. In fact, I'm part black. Uh, so theoretically, I could call myself a Negro because I have black 20% or 10% black DNA in my body. But I choose to call myself a white man. But I'll tell you a story about being black, if I was black, and why I asked the president for a holiday tune-up. And I sent it to the White House. And I made a video asking the president for a holiday tune-up because he's a black man, and I'm 20% of black, and everybody knows that a black men like to get the tune-up whenever they can. So if I'm a black man and Mr. O is a black man and he likes the tune-up and I like the tune-up, far be it from me to not let the Mr. Obama enjoy giving me a tune-up. That's right. And I made a video like that. Not only one, not only two, 10 more, maybe. I made it from 3 different angles with 3 different cameras. And then I posted it on YouTube when that stuff was still allowed to have AdSense on it. And then I sent it to whitehouse.org. And then the DEA and the other agent showed up at my house asking me if I had a gun. I live in Florida, dude. And you already knew if I had a gun because you know I have a license to carry and I have certain guns registered to my name. So what are you asking me if I have a gun for? So he asked me if I have a gun. Yeah, I got one. Where? On my belt. It was actually on the table, but I had put it on the table when they came into the backyard so it would be more readily available. And he goes, where? So I pick up the rag. And the rag is picked up and he goes, may I have it? I said, sure, you can have it. So he takes the gun. You got any more guns? I said, one inside the shed. He said, why do you have a gun? I said, why not? I'm licensed. He goes, okay. Then he proceeded to ask me if I was planning on visiting the White House because I sent that video to Mr. Obama. Because I'm a black man and he's a black man and black men love the tune-up and he loves the tune-up. And I'm sure that a Michelle loves the tune-up too. And if a Michelle and Mr. Obama and myself, we all love the tune-up, then you could have come and given me a tune-up. And that would be my gift to you, Mr. Obama, for Christmas, because it was a Christmas tune-up. But it wasn't the word tune-up. Those videos are on Patreon. And I sent it to whitehouse.org multiple times. And then they came and visited me. What could I say? By the end of the conversation, the other agent, he didn't identify himself as any special kind of agent, but the DEA agent lived locally. He lived locally. I can't see the comments anymore. Oh, there they are. He lived locally. By the time I was done, he hired me to do an excavation on his house. When I did the excavation, I said, here's the contract. He goes, no. I don't want to sign any contract. He goes, how much is it? $3,500. But let me write you out. I gave him my card. I gave him the contract and my card because I had written up the contract. I was underneath the house. The house had a 10-foot ceiling beam box to the ground, 10 feet. So the machine fit under there by about 8 inches. Tight to make the job. And the guy goes, I don't want the contract and I don't want your card. Just want to know how much. $3,500. He goes, okay, do the job. I said, no, I can't do the job without you signing the contract. You're a cop. You're a federal agent. If you don't pay me, I have no ground to stand on. He goes, all right. And he takes $3,500 out of his pocket. He hands me the money. He goes, but you got to do the job. I said, that's no problem. 2 days, he was happy. $1,700 a day, less $1,750 a day, less $100 for fuel. He was happy. I was happy. Then he had me dig some tanks. Then he had me take out some trees. Then he had to plant some trees. All cash. Okay, well, yeah, Pam, that's right. I was just making a point that Mr. Obama, he likes the tuna. And I'm Italian, and I'm 20% the black from my genes. Because I tell you why we're Italian Sicilians, 20% or 10% black. Because a long time ago, when the Moors invaded Sicily, they came in and they gave it to the Italian women. And when they was in the jail and got out of jail, they gave it to the Italian women. And that's how come I'm 20% the black. That's right. Okay, Dan found the angels, which are the angels on the Ark of the Covenant on the dollar bill, and is confirming that he found that. Okay, very nice. Thank you, Dan. They're there. You could get, I will challenge any 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 biblical scholar. I will bet any biblical scholar my life savings, whatever that is. I will bet any biblical scholar. I will bet any expert on the Ark of the Covenant. Anybody, anywhere in the world, I will wager my life savings and the contract for this hotel, which is worth a lot more than my life savings, that I am right that the Ark of the Covenant is on the dollar bill. I will wager anybody everything I have. But we have to have police, forensics experts that can see points of similarities, but not similarities, exact configurations of the words in the Bible and what it points to on the dollar bill, because they're associated with one another. We have to have people qualified, not shills, not people like the guy Degrassi or the tall guy that says that whatever, not shills. They have to be legitimate people that are experts in forensics and Christians that have a basic understanding of the Bible. They're going to find me to be true every time. My book, Angels on the Ark, should be the most best-selling book of all recorded history. No book, including the Bible, should have sold more copies than my book. And yet, the governments and the powers that be have suppressed it. Just like there's a video on YouTube I posted last week, how they're suppressing my view counts. Videos for 1 month, 3,500 views a day. It had to do with the DOD and Mr. Obama. 3,500 views, 2,000, 3,700, 4,000, 3,500, 3,500, 3,200, boom, straight down to 14 views. A month later, 3,000 views, 2,500, 4,000 views, 4,000 views, 4,000 views, 3,500, boom, down to 14 views. They're suppressing my view counts. Videos that got 3,000 views within a few hours. Now, you look at the view count on the video, I think it was 815. How in 8 years did it go down? Well, they might say that the subscribers that watched it are gone, but they shouldn't take the view count off. 2 weeks ago, I did a live stream, and it had 842 views. Now it has 540 views. They deducted 300 views. I don't know how they do that, but they control everything. They control the internet. They control the views. They control. I put up a video, and 3 days later, it's like I never made the video. People stopped coming to the video. What could I do? Tell me what I could do. That's legal. Go ahead. Tell me what I could do that's legal. Nobody can do anything. You're fighting Google, fighting the NSA, fighting the Vatican. My book, Angels on the Ark, there's a link that you can review the book under the eagle on my homepage. My book, Angels on the Ark, should have been one of the most prolific books in all of history. Dan Hernandez, the only way you could get a hold of me is to become a member of my Patreon account. I don't answer questions and comments on any videos anymore at all. If I don't like the comments, I delete them. If you say something sick and perverted just once, I block you. I don't care. I don't need to look at that garbage. And the only way that you can communicate with me is through Patreon. The other gentleman, Danny Gordon, gave me quite the donation. Thank you. Substantial amount of money to listen to one video. So that's the way you can contact me. Go to my homepage, look at the link for my book, Angels on the Ark. Okay, wait, I have more work to do. Goodbye. Okay, that's just too many comments, dude. Well, maybe if Danny asks me to tell the guy, okay, then you're a small man. So, yeah, this is okay. I don't want to get caught up in the rhetoric here. Okay, Danny, yeah, you're okay. You need to talk to me. I got that. I got that. You need to talk to me. I got it. I need to be compensated for my time. I'm doing this for free. I'm waiting for the tide to come up. Tide is high at 2 o'clock, maybe 2:15. I'm about ready to go swimming. But I need to be compensated. If you want to talk to me on the phone, I'll talk to you. You need to become a member of my Patreon account. And you can look at the tiers to see what's available and for what amount of money. If I know a lot of people don't have money. Okay. Well, I just don't have time to talk to you. Will your lawyer talk to you for free? No. Will your doctor talk to you for free? No. Your real estate agent talks to you for free because maybe they're going to make 100 grand on a sale. They know that a certain percentage of people are going to they're going to lose out. They only have to make 3 sales a year at 100 grand on the sale of a piece of property, and they made their money. But I don't do it for free anymore. July 9th, I cut off the comments. I don't talk to anybody. Want to become a subscriber on my Patreon account? At a certain level, you have certain abilities to communicate with me. Here, I do it for free. Okay. I get straight razor shaves all the time. They do it at every barbershop in the Philippines. Zoom bleed. Zom bleed. Yeah, they have every barbershop in the Philippines will give you a straight razor shave. Everyone I know of. Okay. Dan Hernandez calls me a prostitute. Who the are you, Dan? Who are you? You're a name on a screen and you want me to spend an hour talking directly to you? I don't care who you are. I never cared who you are, and I'm never going to care who you are. You want to talk to me? You talk to me like a man, okay? You want me to call you up and give you an hour, a half hour of my life, talk to you for half an hour? I usually have conversations with people for 2 or 3 hours. So you want to destroy 2 or 3 hours of my day that I could be doing something more beneficial to building a hotel, and you want me to do it for free? Here, buddy. Yeah. Can you see that? This is for you, Dan. And now you're blocked for calling me a prostitute. I got to get to that page now. Bye bye. Bye bye, Danny. You you peasant. Before you go, you're a peasant. You can't afford $10 a month to talk to me on Patreon, but you spend $150 a month for your computer service. If you smoke cigarettes, you spend another $3,000 a year to have cigarettes. If you watch football games, that's an extra $100 a month, but you can't pay me. You're a peasant. Danny boy. Shouldn't be watching YouTube. You should be out looking for a job. Okay, now you cursed. So you are history. Go start another channel. Very nice. Bye bye, Danny. My absolute favorite food. I don't know. There's so many good foods here. It's not a pig roast. Even though the pig roasts here are really good, they don't season the pig first. And I always, well, it takes 6 or 8 hours to have a pig, but my favorite food, well, my favorite food they don't have yet. My favorite food is a straight up and down T-bone steak on real charcoal. That's my favorite food. They don't have that here. You can't buy it. I haven't been able to find it. They only just started selling cow meat like a year ago, so maybe at BQ they have it, but and the cows are good. The meat, the hamburger meat is good. It's not. I don't know. My favorite food is a T-bone steak, charcoal grilled on a barbecue with French fries, well done, and Heinz ketchup, and a Caesar salad. A Caesar salad here in the Philippines is lettuce with some kind of Eden mayo, some kind of fake mayonnaise from Eden Gourmet, Eden Gourmet mayonnaise. What garbage! What garbage they sell here. All right, need another slice of cucumber. Wet my whistle. Cucumber and fresh bell pepper in vinegar. Apple cider vinegar. The trick is don't let the bell pepper go in the vinegar. And then stack the cucumbers like this, so that only the bottom cucumber is being saturated with vinegar. Then you pull the bottom cucumber out and you take a piece of bell pepper, which does not have vinegar on it, and you put it to the bottom one, which is soaked in vinegar, and it has one flavor. But the next one up, that's not soaked in vinegar, tastes like cucumber. You just dip it into the cider vinegar, apple cider vinegar, just for a second, and then you put it there like this. So it's only been in the apple cider vinegar for about a minute, and then now listen to me. I hate cucumbers. Couldn't even get me to eat a cucumber. For most of my life, if you put a cucumber on a salad, I used to give them to the person next to me. I hate cucumbers. I despise the taste of cucumbers. But Mike Stone, the world's most bouts and undefeated heavyweight champion in the world, he used to be Elvis Presley's bodyguard, and he trained with, but not for, Bruce Lee. He wasn't Bruce Lee's student. He knew Bruce Lee and Joe Louis. Mike Stone got me hooked on these cucumbers for a dietetic reason. And since I met Mike, I lost 35 pounds. Well, I met Mike a long time ago. But since I made an agreement with Mike to eat more cucumbers, I lost 35 pounds. So it's not a bad thing. But you got to figure out how to eat these damn things. These things they got no taste. They got no flavor. They're just water with seeds in it. I like the skin more than I like the inside. But if you take the bell pepper and keep it out of the vinegar, it's a good deal. All right. I'm not an animal, but if you noticed, if you reviewed this video, however long it is, when it gets rendered, I haven't had any water in 3 hours because of the edema on my feet. I'm staying away from water. So now let's see. There's certain questions I'm just not going to answer. Never had balut. I'm never going to have balut. Lichtenberg has a list of tropical fruits. Here's fresh pineapple right here. This pineapple is 35 cents per kilo. So that's 35 cents a pound. The same pineapple that you would pay $20 for in America cost about 2 kilos. I'll show you the pineapple and the best way to store it. Uh-oh. My foot fell asleep. Hold on. I'll get you my special pineapple container. I'll get you my special pineapple container. Now, this was that garbage mayonnaise I told you that they sell in the Philippines. Eden mayo. I buy it because it was cheese flavored, but it also has the chemicals, which aside from the edema, which is why I don't drink so much water, which is why I don't eat salt, which is why there's no salt in the cucumbers and no salt in this cabbage salad right here. This is a cabbage salad, and if you want to make it taste good, Daisy and I learned with Daisy how to make fresh homemade mayonnaise. Put 2 eggs and half a cup of oil, vegetable oil, and salt and pepper. But I didn't put the salt and pepper in this. Daisy does, but I don't. And then you mix it up with a high-speed blender, and then the mayonnaise turns white. How they get it to be creamy, I don't know. Maybe we have non-creamy type eggs. But I throw the whole egg in, not just the egg yolks. I'm not separating egg yolks. Do I look like a kitchen dish towel to you? Even Daisy, I tell Daisy, I don't want you separating eggs. She goes, I will do it. I don't want you doing it for me. It's like dusting. It's a waste of time, especially when you live on the beach. Anyway, when that's done, I take 2 of those bell peppers and chop them up and mix it in with the cabbage, 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise, some cider vinegar. But I do something even a little bit special before I show you the pineapple. I do something a little special with it. I take 1 entire bulb of garlic. 1 bulb of garlic. And I just chop it up and put it in here with one head of cabbage, 1 large bulb of garlic, the whole bulb, not a clove, 1 bulb. And if it's small bulbs, I put 2. 2 peppers. I'll show you the kind of peppers that we get here in the Philippines. They call them bell peppers, but they're not bell peppers. Okay, I'm coming back with the bell peppers. That they call bell peppers, but they're not bell peppers. They don't even look like a bell. This is a cucumber. Now this cucumber is called pepino, and this costs 25 pesos per kilo. They will try to scam you for 35. No one will sell it to you for 20, but if you get the right guy and he wants to sell those cucumbers, you can get them for 20 pesos per kilo, okay? Which is 40 cents a kilo. 20 pesos, 40 cents for a kilo, or 20 cents a pound. This is 20 cents a pound. So this would be about almost maybe 15 cents. This is a cucumber. Personally, I like the small cucumbers because they have less seeds. But, now here's a big but. That all the guy had was these, and he wanted 35 pesos. When I told him, nope, I want small cucumbers. We have no small cucumbers. And this guy, Peter, we're all the same here. I'm going to tell you how not to get scammed here, too, but that should be, I should make a video just for that. Here's a bell pepper. So that's the size of a bell pepper. That's what they call a bell pepper. They don't have bell peppers. And then, okay, so just let me get a little bit. So, oh, the pineapple. Okay, now Mr. Food and Drug Administration here on the Philippines. Here's the pineapple. This is a pineapple. This is half of a pineapple. And you buy these ripe. This is ripe. When I bought it, you can feel them if you know how to. You can buy them not so ripe, or you can buy them ripe. 35 pesos per kilo, or 35 cents a pound. Christmas time in America, I remember they were charging $10 a pound in New York for pineapple, and they were green. You had to buy them in November. So let me go back and look at the comments. But see now, Danny is having fun. I know Danny. I know everything there is to know about Danny already. That guy should meet Danny. That guy should meet Danny. Danny will meet you, by the way. He will meet you. I could see by his comments that he will meet you, and I would imagine you would regret it. It's just my opinion. So, in this, this is cabbage, bell pepper, and garlic. That's it. And two tablespoons of homemade mayonnaise. No salt, no pepper. I use pepper. I do use pepper. I also eat one head of cabbage each day. Now, why do I do this? My friend Mike Stone. If you don't know who Mike Stone is, just Google Mike Stone. He was Elvis Presley's bodyguard and Engelbert Humperdinck's bodyguard, and I don't know many other people. I don't ask him personal questions because mostly what we talk about is the future, not the past. It's the kind of guy he is. He doesn't talk about the past, wants to talk about the future. Doesn't care about your past, only concerned about your future. Very positive, upbeat type of guy. Mike Stone, American Ninja. He was the guy who they called American Ninja, Mike Stone. You can have a conversation with him if you want. I mean, but if you didn't enjoy the conversation, it would be a very quick conversation and you'd be asked to leave. No nonsense type of guy. Him and I enjoy each other's company immensely. All right, so I'm going to put this down. I'm going to get ready to go to the beach. I'm going to read the comments again. Say thank you. Dude, you just crossed the line again with a different name. What's wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you? That's it. See how easy that was? You know, I give you some slack where you guys can interact with each other, but you're just a piece of garbage. You're just a piece of garbage. I don't even understand why you do this. Yeah, I showed the progress of the foot. It's coming along quite nicely. All right, listen, you guys can have all that conversation that you want. My foot's getting better. North Star, thank you. Your doctor friend, thank you. My foot's getting better. It was definitely a staph infection. It was definitely serious. It definitely hurt more than most people would be able to deal with. I definitely had a fever before the infection started to become very infected. I definitely remember that, going into chills and shakes and sweats. Definitely more of a staph infection than anybody else would want. I put a red mark on my foot saying if it went past that red mark, even though my foot was 3/4 of an inch swollen, I would go to the doctor. It got up to that red mark, but it didn't pass the red mark. I made a deal with my foot. Oh, excuse me. And now it's getting better every day, every hour. So, although it would be possible to lose my foot, I could have lost my life walking in the city to go to the hospital. See, what you don't understand is that everything happens for a reason. Now, I chose not to have my foot worked on by a doctor, not because I don't have the money. I have $27 to go to a hospital and get blood tests, and that's with the pills and everything, because I wanted to build up the immune system in my body. Take antibiotics. If it doesn't go away in 7 to 10 days, they change the antibiotics, and then your body is shot when it comes to your immune system. Then you're prone to all kinds of other injuries and internal problems. I made the choice not to go to the doctor. The pain was something else. I could have used a couple of painkillers, but such is life. 2 aspirins had to suffice. So thanks for your interest, Johnny Ariel. Yeah, I don't, you lose weight off your face first. I'm still pretty big. I still weigh over. Well, when I met Mike Stone, we had a wager that I couldn't lose 50 kilos in a month, but I did lose 30. I was what was I? 132 kilos, 270 pounds. When I went to Mike's house for the weigh-in, and I got on his scale. I'm going, there's got to be something wrong with this. No, Mike, you need to go on a diet. I'm going, but Mike. He's going, no, but Mike. He was right. So now I'm down to 205 pounds, 102, 103 kilos. I think, according to my belt, it hasn't changed since I stopped. But now I'm going back on the cucumber and vegetable diet. You should look up Mike Stone's history. It's real. I wish I could have known him when I was young. Really cool dude. Okay. Danny Gordon says keyboard warriors. That's all they are. Thank you, North Star. It is getting better. If you really want to see it, I'll show it to you. I just was soaking it in water hot water for the last hour. Okay, Bob. I hope that I did see that your children are sick, and I hope the best for that. There's nothing worse than seeing a sick child. But thank you for stopping by. I'll show you my foot again if that guy wants to see my foot, but it's going to take a minute for me to jump up sideways on the bed here. Hold on. I got to move some food back over to the counter. Hold on a minute. Now, for those of you who want to see what I think is progress on my foot and what you would think needs to be addressed at a hospital ASAP, we have 2 different mindsets when it comes to what, I don't know, pain tolerance, visual. Now, the visual aspect of my foot, you have to understand, I just soaked it when I sat down, I had really hot water that I could only put my foot in and out of in this pail under here. Right here, which I can't tip over because there's water in there, but this was really, really, really hot. Let me get rid of this. I don't need this over here. righty. I'm almost up onto the platform where you'll be able to see my foot and the progress. But there has been a lot of progress. Like I said, that's probably a subjective opinion, but for me, this has been progress. Wait. Now you're going to see a red line with a red magic marker, red line on here. That red line is where I drew the line. It's hard for me to show it to you. And you can see the swelling has gone down, but also the edema has gone down too. Wait, I have a better idea. Now, to me, that's progress. And my left foot, the edema, is 100% gone, or 95% gone. It almost looks like a real foot. And that's probably everything here in the Philippines has some kind of chemical in it. Everything. You can't get away from the garbage they put in the food. And that's what's causing the edema. Okay, I'm done with that. Okay. Okay. All right. So, as you can see, it is healing. I do soak it. It is getting better. Let's see. I figured by now. Thank you, Michael Lindorf. I will have a good swim. I will tell Daisy you said hello. Thank you, North Star. Never been to Thailand. My first. Yep. Danny, Mike's been here a long time. I met Mike, and we were friends. That's the kind of guy he is. He stops by all the time. Mike, so you gotta look at Mike from this day forward, though, because his past doesn't concern himself too much with his past. He has people over. He has people. He gets to get. You go to if I go to his house for a party, which I haven't been to in a very long time, but if I go to his house for a party, most of the people are just local people, just regular working class people. He is, for a man that has been so successful in his life, he surrounds himself with regular working class people, and he helps them. He does seminars on how to maintain positive outlooks and positive attitudes in life. He'll teach you martial arts if you want. Teach you breathing exercises. He'll teach you physical therapy for an injury. He'll teach you yoga. He loves Daisy. All right, North Star. So the one on thanks, Foz. My fiance is on a lunch break right now. One thing I would really good. Yeah, the ointment. Yep, Mercerol. There's some ointment named Mercerol the druggist told me about yesterday. I'll look it up. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, to the people who took the time to watch this live stream, I will say thank you. To the people that took their time to try to interfere with this live stream, I would say I don't understand why you did it. To the people that did the super chat thing, which was the first time, the truck man. You don't see that now? And Danny Gordon and Mike Lindorf. All right, well, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. All right, gentlemen, ladies, I know I'm a bit crude, but I can be in real life. In real life, in real life, I am entertaining. If nothing else, I can walk into I can walk into any room, and I don't care who those people think they are in the room. Now they might not like me, but they'll enjoy the entertainment, and I don't care who they are either. See, all that stuff about being rich and famous doesn't impress me at all. I have met a lot of people that were rich and famous that you would never know it. Not movie stars, but people with a lot more money than movie stars. People with boxes, trucks, and houses full of cash. And we enjoy each other's company because we have an honest conversation with one another. They know I'm not going to harm them. And most of those people that I associated with, you you are you already understand the rules. At some point, somebody sits you down and said, "These are the rules. You're not high. You're not drunk. It's the middle of the day. You're awake. You're vibrant. You are self-aware." And somebody sits you down and explains to you the rules. And if you follow those rules and you're really lucky, you get to live a really long life. Or you could get cancer and you don't get to live a really long life. You follow the rules and you get cancer. That's the luck of the draw. But if you don't follow the rules, you don't have to worry about cancer. That's something that you'll never have to worry about. So the positive side of not following the rules that were explained to me when I was a very young boy is that you don't have to worry about dying of cancer. Who could ask for more? You know for a fact you're not going to die of cancer. Not going to happen. You break the rules, you don't have to worry about getting AIDS or dying of cancer or getting hit by a car. You don't have to worry about any of that. Well, maybe getting hit by a car, but you don't have to worry about so many things. Your problems are over. And that's why many people enjoy my company, because I don't break the rules. All right, then. That's the best way I found to live. Danny Gordon says I should charge $35 an hour for Skype. Nah, if they become $10 subscribers on Skype, and you figure if it's a continuous stream of income over a long period of time, which means they get a discount on the rooms once the hotel is open, then that's reasonable. I mean, I understand other people are charging that much money, but I just think that if they make that really borderlines, Danny, that borderlines on being in business in the Philippines, because now you're an entity, which you understand entity, you're an entity giving advice for money. That's work. My Patreon, if you donate to my Patreon, I am supplying you with a video or the access to older videos. That's not a business because they're my videos and they're already registered as public videos or in the public domain once I post them. So somebody could actually come there and copy the link and send it to somebody else if they so decided to do so. But um, so it's being in business is not as easy as providing a service. And as future potential for discounts on rooms, it puts you in a category where you're not charging money for anything. They're offering to donate money to watch your videos, and you're offering to talk to them because they're offering to help, to donate money to help you financially. It's not like a pyramid thing, or it's not a scam. I got to tell you, I have 16 subscribers. I've talked to 3 or 4. The other guys don't even want to know who I am. They don't care. They like my videos. So that's a good question. But no, I don't. And then again, then $35 an hour it might financially hurt some people. $10 a month, if they could do that, that's cool. If not, that's cool too. That guy Danny who said I was a prostitute, guy doesn't have $10. Why would I want to talk to somebody that doesn't have $10? In real life, I wouldn't talk to you if you had $10. If you only had $10 to your name in real life, I probably wouldn't talk to you. I would say hello, but you're never going to be my friend. I'm not going to call you up on the phone and converse with you. It's hard to elevate your legs while they're soaking in water, Latchin Bird. But thank you. Okay, so we're down to the last page. Once I get to the end, it's over. Sterling Matt, I'm doing well. Thank you. Somebody, thank you for the show. You're welcome. I don't want to talk about this injury anymore, guys. Really no reason to do that. I think I have it under control. But thank you for your advice. T-Bones, love the vlogs. Keep up the good work. Been a subscriber for many years. I do believe he lives in the Philippines. Built a beautiful little nipper hut a few years ago. Thank you. Jan Ivar, take care. All the best to me and Daisy May. Thank you. Make an impression, good or bad. It's on them, real life. That's right. Okay, gentlemen, ladies. Epsom salts is on the schedule. Right now, I just use regular sea salt. God day to everybody. And remember, oh, I don't know where it went. Wait a minute. There it is. God day to everybody from Michael Fazio in the Philippines. And always remember those 3 things, ladies and gentlemen. If Mr. Obama had a son, would have looked like a Trayvon Martin. That's right. And if he had a son that looked like a Trayvon Martin, his son would be with the priests. That's right. In the Hades, playing cards with the priests. And if he had a son, his son would be rhymes with lead. That's right. Those 3 things. And remember, there is a skull and bones on the dollar bill. If you fold the bill just like this, you can see the skull and bones inside the face of a bat with a wingspan. If you take a bill out of your pocket and do this, you will see the skull and bones with teeth inside the face of a hog-nosed bat. But if you do this, you will see an owl if you rotate it with wings. This is a great horned owl. So there you have it. The 2 symbols that represent the London Square Mile and the Skull and Bones Society. And you can see that video on my homepage with the great detail. It's the highest detailed dollar bill video on YouTube, maybe in the world, and it's the video that the Skull and Bones has on one of their websites showing you what the Skull and Bones looks like. Real Skull and Bones from England. The 322 Skull and Bones from England has my pictures and my video that relates to its societal groupings on its website. Can you say that? Danny Gordon said, take care. He sent me a message on Facebook. Okay, I will look that up on Facebook. You remember which account? Was it me and Daisy's account or the one under my name? I'll look at both of them when I get back from swimming. Sam Kinnison. Yeah, I'll reread some of these comments later. All right then, gentlemen. Thanks for watching. I had fun today, actually, because I feel a lot better. The foot is in the healing mood. I have a beautiful day. Beautiful day. God day to everybody. From Michael Fazio, and where is Daisy May? Daisy May in the Philippines, baby. I'm being permy, which means take care always. Had a great time, guys. Thank you. I don't know how to shut this off. I'm going to have to lower the screen. I'm not real sure, but okay, end stream. So we're going to end the stream, and it'll be several hours for this to render because it's been 4 hours. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye. Michael Fazio live. My friends in New York, they go, what is with you doing that? I never mention anybody's name, but my friends in New York, they go, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, I could just picture their eyes going, what the hell are you doing, Mike? What are you doing? What? One time I won't get involved with that story. All right, that's it. Going to push that button. Remember, it's more fun in the Philippines, baby. End.